Okay, welcome to session 9 of Traveler Starstruck. Session 6, 7, and 8 were not recorded, so if you'll indulge me, I'm going to put out a very quick summary of what happened to the crew of the Steppenwolf so far. The crew had left Frideo, and they jumped on to, made their way to Bellerophon, which is a lightly populated planet. It's concerned, not a whole lot of population at all. They're concerned mainly with fishing and forestry. As instructed by the recording left in the computer system by Brianna Anderson, they were supposed to meet with old Joe Whitley, leader of a fishing fleet and a fishing corporation that was going to harvest something called jelly eggs. They want to popularize this food. It's like laid by, well, jellyfish-like creatures. It's notable for being laid. These eggs are being laid and then frozen in pack ice and can last like that for years. And the side effect is that as a food, their flavor withstands freezing for a good long time as well. So the fishing corporation here, this is a planet on the frontier side. They want to popularize the food. They're going to send a big batch, lots of tons, to the vacation planet of Flostono on the Verdulan side. Now you arrive at a point where it took the egg laying bloom in the northern oceans was only going to occur 5 or 6 days from then. So while waiting, the player characters try to gamble and party as best as they can. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of interesting spots. There was one spot named after a sea creature, which was the Twisted Sifter. So you tried to gamble. You got into the back room. Some of you got into the back room to gamble there. And then at the appointed time, the fleet sets out. There's some sort of scientist fellow on board the fleet who tries to gauge where the eggs are being laid and where the maximum concentration of eggs are. The fishing fleets harvest the eggs at the right time. It's bloody cold near the pack ice in the North Pole of this planet. But they harvest the eggs, they process them, and then the Steppenwolf is loaded up with 60 ton of the eggs. And in the meantime, the Surf Sailor, another ship of the Argosy Dawn shipping fleet, came over, and this was the ship that was crewed by Tlaymans, and they also picked up a load of 60 tons. So you in the Steppenwolf and them in the Surf Sailor, you both jumped at almost exactly the same time to the planet of Prenglaro. You only intended to go to the gas giant and fuel up and refine the fuel and jump on. However, you were stopped by a patrol corvette of the Verdulan Colonial Marines, and you were inspected. The officer there was more interested in the smuggled ore smugglers, and he took no interest at all in your food cargo. So he let you go, and then you jumped on to the vacation planet of Flostono. You arrived on day 71. Flostono is a tidally locked moon of a very large world, but it orbits in 14 hours, so there's effectively a 14-hour day in the sun with some eclipse periods by the large, big world that Flostono orbits, so you don't always see the sun in the daytime like you should. Uh, and it's got long striated continents. At the time, some rain, but never intense storms. And the planet has been developed, terraformed a bit to have miles and miles and miles of sandy beaches. And it's a balkanized world. All sorts of different communes have created resort areas. When you coast into Flostono, you get another automated recorded message that comes on by Brianna Anderson. The alarms sound and tell you to wait for Brianna's message. And Brianna said that now that you've arrived in Flostono, you were granted an all expenses paid 6-day vacation to a resort called the Lumlumai Ventetoi Resort, which is in English, you'd call it Moonlight Breezes Resort. It's some distance away from the capital city. Um, and then once you landed, Ronnie managed to go to the capital city in question. It's just a short commute away. and he easily sold his suitcases of drugs. You know, you do not have a problem selling drugs on a party planet. Captain Derwatt bought common raw materials. The message instructed you. Brienne's message instructed you also to pick up 5 tons of luxury goods from a trade representative by the name of Sorosho Cardozo, and you were to carry these 5 tons onto the planet Technica, again on the frontier side, uh, uh, so as freight. So that's what Brianna is asking you to do. Um, while on Flostono, Captain Derwatt bought a whole lot of common raw materials to fill up the rest of his ship because the freight is 5 tons. There's also 1 ton of precious, uh, whatever it was, precious things. I think Ronnie did a deal like that. But the rest of the cargo hold was filled up, and you paid for it through a mix of ship funds and personal funds from each player character. Virgil also went off to Acapulco to pick up information from the intelligence community. He had a line on the diplomatic channel and was getting intelligence type of information. And uh, earlier during the trip, he determined that um, there's 3 sorts of smuggling going on. There are ore smugglers who are basically miners who go in the wrong federation and mine. There's people smuggling, which is mostly from the Verdulan Federation over to the freer Frontier Federation. And then there's something else called art. So Virgil was trying to find out what art was, and he found out that it's some sort of smuggled good that's only sold in small lots. Smaller ships are suspected of it more than large, huge cargo haulers. And the prices we're talking about is on the order of 1 million per ton. He goes to a bar for expatriates and tries to pick out somebody who looks like a member or a retired member of the intelligence community. I mean, these guys give themselves away because of their buzz cuts. So he manages to find a guy like Richard. He rolled successfully on his carousing, and he started to get more information that the nickname Art may in fact stand for artifacts, but it's not the artifacts you expect from early settlement of a planet or native species, native sophont species. It's more like the this guy Richard lets slip that it looks more like bits of wood for some reason, and then he passes out from drinking, or Virgil passes out, one or the other, so he can't find anything more. Um, the player characters, Captain Derwatt ultimately contacts Sarosha Cardozo to ship those 5 tons of luxury goods. Cardozo says 5 tons is all he's got for freight, but there are occasional jobs like this, and he arranges a meeting next afternoon with a patron by the name of Administrator Carolina Ruchildo III, which we'll just call Lady Carolina, and her daughter Ursula, who meets the player characters, well, 3 of you anyway, and explains that she may be able to arrange more jobs, and she's willing to pay 10,000 credits per ton per parsec to haul this as freight. Of course, this is conditional upon your discretion. You don't really want to ask any questions about what's in the crates. Uh, and I think Virgil made a second attempt to find out more information, went to Acapulco to some other bar. But here, as a result of his carousing, he spoke instead to a bunch of retired people who are researching the Stranguloi. The Stranguloi are the mysterious third branch of humanity, hundreds of light years away, who are only known from faint radio signals. So it was the work of a lifetime to try to figure out anything about their culture, from poorly resolved transmissions and videos and things like that. Um, and in the evening, this was probably the second evening, the way they count time here on Flastono, Captain Derwatt heard a knock at his window, and he had an encounter with a Sevrette clinging to his bedroom window like a gecko. The Sevrette was offering a job as well to pick up some freight, but this was over in the planet Ribicor, which is not on your way to Technica. So I think when we last left the game, the player characters were debating a bit about whether they should make this detour. There wasn't really a deadline to deliver the luxury goods to Technica, but if you jump twice to go to Ribicure and jump twice back, or jump twice to go to Technica, you're sort of adding 4 weeks overall. And you also have to make some room because at the moment your cargo hold is full. So, do you players want to discuss more about whether you want to do this job or not? I think I should have posted a price to this. Let's see. Oops. That's kind of hard. I don't know what the alien would have quoted you as a price for the freight, but to let me see, to make it worth your while now, it may not be an amount that's worth your trouble, but what he quoted was similar to what Lady Carolina quoted for her job. This uh, this Savret, the alien's name is Sibrin Lichen Repitlian. Sibrin Lichen Repitlian.
Sibin Richin
Pronounce it
Leblian.
Sibrin Lichin Repitlian. Easy. I got it
Yes.
Just
right the
call him
first time.
Sib.
Yeah.
Sib.
Oh, and Captain
Silich.
Wilson ended up,
He's Sir
calling him
Lich.
Sir Lich. Yeah, Sir Lich.
Sir
Okay.
Lichadrian is just Sir
Blah, blah,
Lich.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah. Sir Lich quoted a similar price for freight that, is greater than the usual price. He quoted 10,000 credits per. Well, he quoted it in euros, no doubt, but it works out to 10,000 credits per ton per parsec, similar to the lady Carolina's going rate for jobs. So that's what the Savret quoted. And then the Savret probably, I'm going to retcon one thing. The Savret gave you a little slimy business card, or I think the business card was clean before the Savret took possession of the printing order. But he hands you a slimy business card, and then he sort of scampers away like a gecko, hugging his toes, hugging the walls or the windows indifferently as he scampers off the side of the hotel and into the night. So, is there any discussion about whether you want to take that sort of job? If we point to the map, I explained how it's a bit of a detour because you are here.
How many tons is it?
What did he say?
You know,
I'm going to
3
say
parsecs.
1b6.
Because we had to go from there. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, it's 2 jumps.
Are we back to talk
Yeah.
about it, or are we still at the hotel and they're still at a different place? Are we all back?
I'm back at the hotel, so I can invite everyone. We can go to like the lounge and talk about it.
I'm going to retcon that the Savret, while he was talking to you, now he's talking very fast, and you probably have to stop and think about what he actually said, but he was talking about a total of a big 6 tons. I just rolled it, 6 tons, and his concern is willing to pay 10,000 credits per ton per parsec, and it's 3 parsecs
That's
from
good
Ribicure to
money.
Flastono.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
60.
and he
That's
left you
good
the business
money.
card so that you can call and get more particulars like who your contact would be if you go on that job. Now, your corporation, Argosy Dawn, probably expects you to turn a profit as well. But the overriding order is you're supposed to make the 2 parsec jump to over here at Technica to deliver those 5 tons of luxury goods. Brianna didn't really worry about what else you were going to haul, but common raw materials uh, is pretty good, but I didn't see any advantageous factor to, upon sale at Technica. I didn't think, or maybe I'm mixing it up with the other game. I wonder if there was an advantageous sale price factor or not. But here's the thing: if you, let me just use the meter measuring thing. You pretty much have to jump to, oops, uh, what's going on here? You pretty much have to jump to Prenglaro first,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
then to Ribicure, which is just 1 more parsec like that. So like that, and then
And then we
to,
gotta get back to Flastono anyway.
back to Flostono, and then to Technica. So you're definitely 4 weeks out of your way. Um,
Sounds like it's worth
uh,
it though.
if
A
you want to
month
try that.
for 60,000.
Do we have
But
do we have to
we could drop.
sorry,
Oh,
do
go
we have
ahead,
to
Brian.
stash our cargo that we've all put in for to do that?
If
Or
you, I think you'll have to, because if you check the
Or you
Steppenwolf, if
might be
you
able to
check the
sell it on
Steppenwolf
Pringo
handout,
or the other
uh,
planet.
yeah, if you check the Steppenwolf handout, Captain Wilson Derwatt made a deal for 57 tons of common raw materials. Some of it was bought with company money, some from Wilson's own money, and here tons here or there were bought by several of the PCs. So your hold is full up now. If you're doing the trip to Ribicure and back, you're going to have to store some cargo equal to the amount, well, at least 6 tons is going to have to be stored here to give you space to haul the 6 tons of Savret cargo. That's the deal.
I share emotion. I think we should store enough tons to do both jobs and just do it. And then we could also maybe sell a portion of our raw materials, but have a full cargo load. But I think for 10,000 a ton, we got to take these loads, see what we can do. And then we could sell what we leave behind, raw materials. We could take that with us the next time after we come back to Flastono, because we're going to come back to Flastono anyway, right? That's what Brogan's going to suggest to the captain and crew.
that sounds good, but I mean, as long as we can, I mean, we want to keep as much cargo in the hold as we can at any time. So empty
Oh,
hold is no
definitely.
money.
Definitely keep it full. And when we get wherever we're going, we could sell some of the raw materials we already have, and the raw materials we have left, we could sell that later when we come back and take it with us again.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
are
just money in the bank. We're just putting some of what we bought away. It'll be money in the bank. Because we got to come back to Flastono, right? It's part of the plan.
that's part of the deal. The Savrets will only pay you if you can go over and back with the cargo that they want. They're trying to make it as attractive as possible. Now you don't know how many people are behind this venture or how many beings are behind this venture. Um, also, Prenglaro and Ribicur are Mars-like worlds. Um, I don't think either of them is highly populated, but you're not likely to get a high price for resources on resource planets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you shouldn't really bother hauling your common raw materials to those planets.
We could leave all the raw materials behind and take other stuff.
Hmm.
We really want to go
Maybe
to
take freight.
Zanguno because that's a poor world.
No one
and
wants
that's
to go to
where
Jean Guno. No.
we want to
Jean
sell
Guno
the
What's
is
on
common raw
John Bruno, man?
materials at Zanguno.
I like this
Jean.
place. I could retire on Flastono, man. Flastono rocks. This
Yeah.
place is cool. Right,
Yeah,
right,
they said
Tomo?
we had a
Just
week vacation.
hang
Man. I
out on
don't
the
know if you want to do all
beach.
this jumping. Yeah, maybe you just want to
Hang-
hang out on the beach.
I mean, it's a good idea to go to third world countries to retire, but I don't have enough money
Yeah.
yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have to have some money or some euro to retire on Flostono, and the amount of money you have will determine your quality of retirement. But what else was I thinking about? You also have to fill out the right amount of permits if you're an expatriate. You have to basically assure them of your good intentions, and so you fill out more forms. So there'll be a mountain of forms. Some people die before they fill out all the Verdulin forms for retiring in
Bummer.
this
We
place.
can't just like get a van and live on the beach, man. Party all the
Beach
time.
bums. Beach bums.
To be
Yeah.
vagrants. Oh, to be
Yeah.
vagrants who are unaffiliated to any commune or retirement commune or
That
industrial
probably wouldn't
commune
be
is a
good. We
bad,
wouldn't be getting the hot
yeah,
girls, Tomo, if we did that.
serious
We
crime.
gotta,
Yeah,
yeah, we
No,
can't do
you
that.
you have to belong to something, or in other words, the government has to own you in some way.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you want to be unregistered vagrants, it's treated pretty bad. Although there are frontier planets where you can do that.
Hmm.
Maybe
Well,
even
back
Verdulin planets if they're unorganized.
Back to the question of the deal. Is the group, I haven't been here for 3 sessions, is the group that poor in money that we need to jump at this deal, or are we able to just flag it?
I think
Well,
it's
we've
too
got a
far
reasonable
out of
amount of
the
money,
way.
but
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a crew decision. You sunk a lot of your money in the raw materials cargo, so if you store that, how easily will we be able to buy more cargo for the Mars-like worlds,
You'd need
Glaro
like
and
food,
Ribicur?
wouldn't you? Or something like that.
And well, food. Let me see what the stats are. I don't want to dwell too long on it, but as you can tell, it's these are almost airless worlds. Just get the stats again. I wonder if I presented Prenglaro before, way back in the chat. Ribicur is amazing because it's all a light sea green color. Mars is rust red because it has huge amounts of
Oxide.
iron oxide everywhere, so it's rust colored. Ribicur is like copper roof colored because its
Right.
ores are almost, it's almost all copper everywhere, copper oxides, and copper in this day is still worth more than iron.
hmm
Let's see.
Could you?
Okay, never mind.
You not found them? I just got asked wondering about if the atmosphere is like Mars. What's their populations like?
That's what I was going to try to
Oh,
figure
right.
out. Oh, I think I had a map of Ribicur already set up. Prenglaro, I don't think I have a map for them. In the handouts, planets. Oops, here we go. Handouts, planets. I have Ribicur. The population is only 617,000. Its only trade class is non-industrial, so it's a B210501-9. So I have a map and stats and everything for Ribicur. It's Mars-like, trace atmosphere. The law level is down to 1,
Tech level
tech level
9.
9.
So we could either do food, or we could do some slightly higher than tech level 9.
Anyway, if you, I can post a map myself. So if you
I've
click
already
the
clicked on it.
handout, you'll
Yeah.
get the map,
Yep. Got
but
it.
I will post the map myself. How do I do that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Planet folder.
Drag and drop.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to do it from my thing. Yeah. Okay.
So,
So
Captain Durwatt, what's the price of food and what's the price of slightly higher tech stuff than tech level 9?
I don't know.
I thought you were the
the
business
only
guy.
trade factor, the only trade factor, as I said, is non-industrial. This is Ribicur.
We could
Oops.
like get nice fruity shit from this planet because it's tropical, and
Yeah.
they'd love it over there. Like
hmm
some peaches and shit. They would eat that up, man. We could sell
With
it for
what
big
money?
money.
I spent all my money.
Exactly.
Oh.
I've got 20,000, but I know it's not much. But
Well, now we got these raw materials we were going to take. I don't know.
so, how important is this job to Rubicure? Is it worth
Well,
the
the
effort?
importance, the Savrets have a philosophy that all is relative. What's important to one creature may not be important to another, so they try to give it an absolute value, and the value is 20,000 euro per ton per parsec. So that's that's philosophy for you, which works out to about 10,000 credits per ton.
Nice. I would
So relative importance. So
I think
the
we
map
gotta
doesn't
say
show it.
no, as much as it sucks.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
But
And
I'm listening. I'm listening to my crew.
yeah.
I don't
So
think we should say no. I think we should lock up our raw materials and just see if we can get some other freight that'll pay us to go that way, regular freight, and just run. And then our raw materials will still be there. And we can come back and get that and sell that someplace else. I
if you
mean,
haul
we,
freight, then you have a 2-jump ship. The The rate is always 1,600 credits per ton for each 2-jump hop that you do or portion thereof. So your freight take would be 3,200 credits per ton that you get to Ribicure.
That's
And
still a chunk of change. We could get some freight. Just lock up our raw materials. We'll come and get that later. We'll store it here in a bunker or something, and we'll get that stuff later. And then we'll sell that later because that's money in the bank. But if we haul freight and we take this job for these guys, they may have more cool work for us too. And we're creating business allegiances. This is my take, but I'm
Yeah,
just the pilot.
that is true, and it's also pretty good money for hauling freight.
Yeah, it is. Real good money.
the Savrettes could only make it, that interesting
Yeah,
to that
but it's
extent.
probably art.
We don't know that.
The Savrettes refused to say just what the freight was. And I had in the
It would have some sort
had
of
the Prang
classification on it, wouldn't it?
Mantor can't hear us.
Hey, if they've got
Antar.
if they've got their customs papers and stuff in order, I mean, it's sealed. It's not our problem, is it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are natives to the Verdulan way of doing things, and they've probably finagled some customs papers and all that. Oh, and by the way, not to be outdone, Pranglar stats are. Somebody talk? I heard only a faint thing.
No.
Here are the Pranglar stats. Pranglar is non-agricultural and non-industrial.
Oh, small place.
Food again.
5 trace, no hydrographics. 6
Population in the
millions of
millions.
inhabitants. Democracy, no law level. Tech level 6.
I don't think I had a map for Pranglar yet. No.
It's not a fun. It's not. Doesn't look like a very fun place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young people leave to study at university, and they usually never come back.
I don't blame them. Yeah.
But Ribicure has more of a pretty color. That's more of a draw, and the copper is more valuable, but still the same thing happens. Copper with drifts and areas of other things.
Well,
Anyway, I'm going to put the Ribicure map back. Those
yep.
are the stats. So those are the facts, and
Okay.
the monetary interest is as high as the Savrets can make it, unless you want to try to deal with aliens. Want to bargain with
I
aliens?
think
That's
that's a
always
good.
fun.
I think that's a good deal right there. I don't think we should bargain
You
with
think?
them. We need to make friends, man.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else have
Perhaps.
anything to say about it?
Well, perhaps the captain could go and try to find normal freight, and also just see what else he can put out there, and if there's stuff that I can buy, I'd be happy with that.
Okay. Now you already bought.
I bought
You already
nothing.
bought. Whoa. Well, you didn't buy anything, but the other player
Yep.
characters in
I
the
know.
ship funds bought a whopping total of. Let me go back to the. Well, okay. Of course, it's the
57
Steppenwolf sheet.
tons.
57 tons, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you decide how many tons you want to clear, but the more tons you clear to make space on your ship, the more you pay for storage for 4 weeks. And I don't know what storage costs are. It's usually those big, you're going to have big hangars with roll down doors and security, depending on whether you want mall cops or whether you want SWAT
I got
types.
another idea, you
What's wrong
guys.
with mall
This
cops? I was a mall cop.
I got another idea. This is just raw materials, right? Does this world have
Common
a
raw
moon?
materials.
Does this world have a moon or
No,
This world
something
is a
like?
moon.
yeah, Boston is a
Yeah.
moon.
Is there
Now
other
the big
moons
world.
or asteroids or something nearby?
Good question. I can look at the.
Because
I
here's
have the
my
Gas
general.
idea.
giant, eh?
If we
Mm.
find a really good secluded little crater, it's just raw materials. It's not going to go bad. We could just like drop our stuff off like a treasure map and hide it. And then we don't have to pay any storage fees. And we'll just
Yeah, and
come back and
you're
get it.
hoping the scavengers won't find this spot, or
Yep.
miners or whatever. Well, good question. Let me call up. I do have the spreadsheet or the working copy of the spreadsheet somewhere and look up what Flostono's
I mean,
neighbors are.
space is big. You should be able to hide a lot of shit in space. You would think. I don't
Let's
think
see.
scavengers will find it.
What's the decision being made for?
Maybe not.
Oh, hello, Jen.
Hi.
Hi.
We're gonna
well,
drop
when we
all
le-
the cargo we bought and help these gecko people.
Why?
Because they're cool and they're going to
Good
pay us
question.
good. And then on top of that, we
Yeah.
still have the cargo, so we'll make money on that later. We're just
Where are we
pushing
gonna
out
put the
some money to
cargo?
make money. We don't know
Okay.
yet.
Theoretically, we'll still have the cargo. This is a
Oh,
backwater
theoretically?
system.
No, I
isn't
don't think so.
Mhm. That's what I'm
Uh-oh.
worried about.
Well, can I keep my cargo on the ship?
Yeah,
You guys can dump yours somewhere.
Nope, we're dropping off these precious metals too.
Why we
Just
don't have a
keep it in
say?
bond,
Hey,
can't we?
Hey,
that's,
Mentor, good to see you on here.
Hello,
you can hear us.
guys.
hey,
Here, I did think about it, so I did make a screenshot of the spreadsheet. It shows what the Flostono system looks like. It's named, of course, after the most important world, Flostono. But here's how it goes: orbiting very close to a red M2 sun. That there's a big world called Massiva, which is size F, even bigger than size F. Flostono orbits fairly closely next to Massiva. Way further out orbits, A, B, C, D, and when you get to V and W, there are two worlds called Rutao and Cataclysmo. And Rutao is actually hospitable, but has only about you just see here, not a lot of population. But it has it has not as much as Flostona, but it has about in the millions. Cataclysmo is a very small world, practically uninhabited. Oh, because it's called a storm world, whatever that is. So, orbiting the big world of Massiva, there's Flostono, Rutao, and Cataclysmo. In further orbits, you have other assorted worlds, planetoids, ice worlds, worldlets. So, if you really wanted to hide things, um,
I got a question
can.
from Mendo. How does that have a technology level 8 when there's no population, no law level,
no
or
people,
no?
yeah.
Automation
Yeah, there's nothing there.
could be
Yeah.
It's a
automated.
desert. It's a desert frontier.
It could all be
Yeah,
automated.
DI.
I don't know how. It's just how the calculation came out. This
We
was,
automated. Maybe trains.
yeah.
So
Or
they have
these are all
factories out there, but
moons.
there's nobody to man them.
Those are all moons surrounding
Everybody
the gas
died of them.
giant.
Oh no.
No
If you
CV and
check the
go.
primary orbit number, in orbit 0, that's where the big world is, right next to the reddish sun.
Right.
Orbit 0, but then the other planets move on. So Astura is not a moon; it's in orbit 4 of the star. And then when you get to orbit 16, there's a new star which is indicated by LD. That's like that's not a white dwarf, but it's some other kind of dwarf star. And the dwarf star has a few planets which are counted as moons of the star, so to speak. So the moons of a star are planets, and they're all F class starports. Very very little population, and the distance from where you are
What
to
the hell
orbit
is F?
16.
What is F?
F means very very bad starport in the Traveler
Yeah.
5 rules, so it's beyond the A to
Oh,
E scale.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's worse than a block of flat
Yeah,
land.
or undeveloped.
it's like X. It's
Yeah,
not.
so it's not
It's like
black.
a E or a X
Yeah.
kind
No,
of.
no, no. They've managed to
Yeah.
demark out the four corners, but that's probably it.
So
The,
it's
the
like
fifth
E.
edition stats when I generated this sector are a little different from what
Yeah.
you might use in Traveler Mongoose, and the trade classes are a little different because Traveler 5 adds a lot of esoteric ones.
Yep.
But the tiny accompanying worlds other than Flostono are super boring. There is Delida, which has a population in the 10 millions, orbit 7, Astumelo, all kinds of interesting names. But your closest bet is Rutao, where there's 1 million people. But if you're looking for some sort of isolated spot to bury cargo containers,
Can
might
How
lease
much
to
does it
check
mine.
cost
cargo
just to
container.
store it at the starport at the bonding
Oh,
house or whatever?
That's a
I
good
mean,
question.
rent
Let me see.
some warehouse space for a month.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, let me just get to the rule book.
I suppose
I
I
think
shouldn't put. Go ahead.
I think
Self
I think I can give
storage.
you a deal because they only charge 100 for berthing costs for an entire ship, and your ship is 200 tons, right? So, uh, and you're basically stored for a week, so they give you a good deal on berthing fees. So in that spirit, they might charge you like no more than a couple of hundred credits a week to store your cargo, and unlike a ship, you're not hooked to any power, you're not hooked to any internet or other utilities. So if you
Well,
wanted,
then we just store it there.
yeah,
If it ain't going
if
to
you want,
cost that much, yeah.
yeah. So I wouldn't worry about the cost over 4 weeks to uh, do that. But you sign a Verdulan contract for storage fees and things to do in the event you don't come back, and all sorts of legal clauses like that, which are not important, and who the cargo goes
Uh-huh.
to if you die, that sort of stuff like that. So you just fill out the 80-page contract and you sign as and you're signing on behalf of your pseudo commune. It's the way you've been incorporated in
My share goes to Mindy and Clarissa.
It's all
who's
going to
Mindy and
Brianna
Clarissa.
Anderson,
I
Really? Okay,
forgot
but
their names
Those girls I
already,
met
but
probably.
those girls I met the other day.
oh, I
I
see.
forgot.
So
I forgot their names already, but they
do you
certainly put a smile on my face.
do you say that you flip your will to whatever girls you meet? Is that true? Flip your will to them?
No, not my
His
will.
mind's still on the girls we met at the beach.
Just the crap that we're going to put in storage.
Oh, I see. So you're willing your claim to your share of cargo
I
to
suppose
some
we all each have our own different claim.
yeah. So I guess the
I mean,
I
yeah.
Verdulan
second that, Tomo. They'll be happy when we come back.
the Verdulan lawyer at the freight haulage company scratches his head as you want to insert like a
So
you know
probably wants to will it to Maternoster.
well yeah as his beneficiary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd fill in table and Brian wanted to will it. Was it Brian who spoke? He wanted to will it to two beach bimbos.
Yep. It's
Uh,
Tomo.
Absolutely. I second that, Brian.
okay.
That's me.
Okay, so I'm getting the impression that you do want the job to go over to Ribicur and pick up the Savret's freight, which I calculated was 6 tons. Let me see. Okay.
We should take one of those salamander dudes along. Kind of fun.
Let me see. I don't know if that was part of the deal, but if you have questions, you have his business card. You can phone
Yeah.
him.
Take a couple of those Geico dudes along.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't seem to mention that would be necessary, but if you ask for that and you give a reason, why would the Savrets come along? They don't seem
Just talking
apparently.
smack. We don't need to
Yeah.
take them along, I guess. But I
Oh,
thought it would be kind of fun.
One is a
yeah,
hoodlum, perhaps.
you're thinking out loud. Yeah, I think keeping NPCs on board is always fun.
Yeah.
You had tons of fun with just RUR. Imagine if you have these geckos, who, by the way, the
Mhm.
geckos are no respecters of floors. They crawl along on the walls, on the ceiling. At their meetings, they're kind of 3D because they can be seated on the walls and ceiling absolutely indifferently. They're just, so you're like in a forest of blue-green mottled spots instead of a nice
He
clear
could get the
auditorium.
whiskey. He could easily get the whiskey off the top cabinet for us, right, Tomo?
Right.
Really? Okay, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, he'll just
Okay,
be hanging out on the ceiling and in the wall. We'll say, "Hey, Gecko dude, get us that whiskey bottle out of that cabinet," and he'll get it
okay.
done.
Now, as you're thinking about that job, like I assume that this is the next morning in the local time. we're probably verging into day 75, 76, but I'm calculating, star time, and I don't really have a clear handle between star time and local Verdulan time, which is 28-hour days. It's probably day 73, 74. After you've done all this, you still have maybe 5 days of holiday here. But somebody calls you, which is some sort of it's some sort of administrative assistant type for Sarosho Cardozo, and they say that they want you to take delivery of those 57 tons of oh, sorry, it's not Sarosho
5.
Cardozo, but it's the 57 tons of common raw materials. They ask when you want to take delivery of those tons and put them on your ship.
Did we sign all the paperwork to move them to the storage unit?
I'd say that'd be Captain Do What, wouldn't it be?
You signed the
Captain,
Yeah.
paperwork
this
to
is your
buy
job,
57
dude.
tons.
Yeah.
Captain, answer the phone. This guy's
Yeah.
calling you.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
taking it. We got 5
Sharpen your
days.
pencil.
Right. So
We
yeah,
got
so
5 days
it's
to
not an
figure all
administrative
this out.
assistant for Cardozo, but it's just you bought the common raw materials from somebody else. A normal it's a normal purchase from the trade center here, and they're asking you when you want to take delivery of 57 tons of common raw materials on your ship.
Why don't we just have it moved to the storage area right away instead of putting it on the ship?
We don't know what we're filling our ship with yet.
Yeah, but we're not going to take this stuff along.
Okay.
Go get some freight. If we bring
Why
it to our
not?
ship,
We don't have freight yet.
Here's
what if
a
we
Why am
bring
I
it
thought.
to our
paying for
ship?
storage
And
for
freight.
a
What
week
happened to all that
when
freight that we had before? We had off.
We're going to put it in storage
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to move it twice. Why do you work?
Here's a thought.
Why are we putting it in storage?
I'll order a mimosa and lean back and watch everyone.
Why are
Yeah.
we
No
putting
one
it in
wants to buy
storage?
it, I guess.
No, because we don't have room to take the freight that we bought
yeah.
plus this commission job.
So screw the
Yeah.
commission job then. Let's go.
No,
Oh,
the
here's a
commission
novel.
job's good, man.
Here's
These
a
are
Well,
novel.
echo
Astro has
dudes.
3 tons.
Yeah,
What?
it's a lot of
What?
Go,
commission.
Tony. Tony,
Commission is a
talk.
lot of money, and we
Commission's
don't have
really
a time
good.
frame that we deliver.
We have cargo that'll make
So-
this money, no?
Why not get
Yeah,
them
but not
to store it
as
for
much.
us?
Do we? What?
It won't make as much money, and it isn't something that we have to deliver on a timetable. So we can store this non-spoilable cargo and do the commission, make a ton off that, then get the non-spoilable basic material stuff, sell that, and make money on it as well.
So, but where are we going to store it?
I was about to say something about
Yeah.
that, but look, you guys keep
Yeah,
talking
go ahead.
over me.
Go ahead,
for it.
Tony.
Tony.
Talk.
Go,
Tony,
Tony.
talk.
All right.
I
I'm
see
talking over you.
if they're going to say when do we want it to be delivered, why not delay the delivery time till we come back, and they can store it for us where it doesn't cost us any money.
That's
Sure, we could try that.
Okay.
I think the
Okay.
commission
So
stuff doesn't the commission have like a timetable on it? I thought that one had a time.
Did you guys ask?
The luxury goods don't. As
yeah,
far as that
Brianna
goes.
didn't specify.
Okay.
Brianna didn't specify a time frame. I mentioned that last session.
Tony has
Oh,
a good
yeah,
point,
that's-
though. Tony has a good
Yeah.
point. We could just say, deliver us that stuff in 3 weeks to this bay.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, because
and they-
there's always common raw materials available in a kind of stream. So if you pass on this job, they'll get other freight haulers to haul these particular tons, and you are optioned for the same amount of tons at a future date 4 weeks from now, and so you get
yeah.
a new
And then we
stream
don't
of
have to pay
common raw
anything for
materials.
anything. We just come and get
Yeah,
what we already have a claim for. Yeah,
Planet is a pretty much
Sounds like a good
constant
idea.
producer.
I
Yeah,
think that was the
this
brightest
works.
idea yet.
Yeah, that's why
Very
we pay
good.
you the big
Yeah.
bucks, Tony.
A good idea from Tony. As long as, let me just check one thing from the rules table.
I mean, we
the
already
trade,
prepaid, so
yeah, these common raw materials trade good table back wherever it is. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, because the common raw materials are item 14 in the D66 list. So the things that begin with 1 are in the Traveler Mongoose universe. Those things are always pick upable and available on just about any world, unless explicitly, unless the purchase modifier is explicitly against it. It fetches a higher price on high population worlds, and yeah, so that's basically it. So if you want to pass up these 57 tons, you can put it in brackets that you've optioned 57 tons of raw materials. But they're not on your ship yet, and they won't be delivered on your ship yet. But later on, when you come back in 4 weeks, you can pick up another 57 tons of common raw materials with the price that you've paid, hopefully still being the same. I might have to make. I don't know how I would do it because I'd have to make Captain Durwat re-roll a purchase roll, for what kind of price he can get. And his roll
Well,
wasn't very hot
Can't we
this
buy?
time.
Can't we buy? Can't we buy like an option at that price? So it's that price when we come back.
So you want to buy it at exactly the same price, like a futures or something? Okay, that's getting complicated, but okay. If somebody is willing to sell you something in 4 weeks, okay, there we go. Auction for 4 weeks. Okay, so to keep things simple, I'm just going to allow that. So the amount of money is unchanged, and that means that you do have a 57-ton hole in your cargo. Now, Cardozo would probably say, pick up the luxury goods. He doesn't care. He hasn't been given any instructions. He doesn't care if the stuff is late, but you should guard it. So in other words, it should be with your ship. He's not going to trust this stuff in storage on Flostono. He wants you to carry the 5 tons with you where you go. And there's 1 ton of precious metals. That was Ronnie's ton. That's still here. But then the rest of your cargo hold is free, 57 tons to try to do something to go to Prenglar and Ribicure. So that's the state of things right now. So what is it that you want to try to buy for these Mars-like worlds? They're both non-industrial, and Prenglar is in addition non-agricultural.
Food, consumables,
peaches, man. Peaches.
Peaches,
just
Yeah,
basic
mangoes and
basic
bananas.
food.
Consumable?
Mangoes. Yeah.
yeah,
Nope.
tropical fruit,
Consumable.
of
No.
course. Actually, the way if you look at the Flostona map, the way Flostona is structured is that it's mostly tropical up to latitude about 35 or 40.
You mean you tell me if you lived on Pringlar, you wouldn't want some peaches from Flostono? You wouldn't pay
They,
a couple extra,
they probably grow peaches. You see the light green squares up in the upper latitudes, 45, 50, and then there's a few islands of grassland. That's where the wheat is. For example, there's the town of Ukraino, which is over here, and Ukraino. Well, I took that, of course, from Ukraine. Big on wheat. Their latitude 60, but they can still grow wheat. So that's how overall warm this planet is. But then I guess there's peach growers somewhere. But their big thing are tropical fruits, mangoes, papayas, and probably evolved durian fruits. You know the durian fruits,
Oh
that
yeah,
very stinky fruit? Well, the
yep.
stink is gone. It's been selectively bred for thousands of years. They got rid of the stink, and now they
Finally,
just left the sweet custard taste behind. So you have the clean durian here, the non-smelly durian fruit. So that's fruits and vegetables like that. Things from um, Plastona would probably be very saleable in Prenglar and Ribicure, unless you want to get some more valuable cargo. But everything in the first 6 rows of the trade goods table is easily obtainable without a roll.
consumables.
So common electronics, common industrial goods, common manufactured goods, common raw materials, common consumables, common
Common.
ores. But I'm going to say that your money is tied up in the common raw materials futures. I've probably cleaned out your you've probably cleaned out your finances as individuals and the ship funds. What do the ship funds stand at now? They are
I've got
about
20,000. I'm happy to put that into the food, if that's what you want to do, guys.
really.
Yeah.
So I have 1,800. The ship has 1,400. Unless we cut into the Argosy Dawn.
I've got 13 grand left.
Are we trying to figure out what kind of cargo to pick up now?
Yep, we got
What about some
2 things of
electronic?
cargo now.
Not on
Yeah,
this
I've
one.
got just short of 7 left.
The particularity about the Traveler Mongoose rules is that the first set of commodities are generally available everywhere. You don't have to randomly roll to determine if they're available. They're pretty much available on every kind of world. Let me just make a screenshot here.
Page 245.
Yes, well, 244 I'm on in the update book. I'll
That's
put it
funny. I've got
in
the
the
PDF of the update and it's
Discord.
245.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your
Interesting.
PDF page number. I'm looking at the printed page number.
244.
They're
Yeah.
off by 1.
Yep.
And oh, did I just lose the Discord? Let me get back to it.
Too many tabs.
I mean, technically, that'd be fruits would be common consumables, wouldn't they?
Yeah, the first 6 lines of the trade goods are things that are fairly available. So I'm just going to upload a screenshot of those. Desktop screenshot.
Is Flash Down agricultural? Oh, sorry.
There you go. So we're talking about common electronics, common industrial goods, common manufactured goods, common raw materials, common consumables, common ore. Don't take ore to Pranglar or Ribicure,
Nope.
of course. That's stupid. But electronics at a base price of 20,000 per ton, industrial goods 10,000 per ton, manufactured goods, finished stuff at 20,000. You'll notice that there's a favorable factor if it's non-industrial.
Did you say, sorry, Pierre, did you say that Ribicure is non-industrial?
Ribicure is non-industrial. Pranglar is non-agricultural and non-industrial.
Okay, then we want to take common manufactured goods because you get the best bonus there.
Common manufactured goods, is it?
Yeah, non-industrial plus 3. Right. Since they're involved in mining, they're not able to advance their
yeah, I just thought
tech
food
level.
would be easy because everyone needs it.
Yeah. And the reason that manufactured goods and electronics can fetch a good price in non-industrial worlds is that they're stuck at a lower tech level. Things can get imported at a higher tech level. Well, Pranglar is only 6 tech, which means that they've been basically just doing mining and not really brute force mining, not really improving their tech. So, no, non-industrial plus 3 if you sell industrial goods.
Where
or
is Pranglar again?
manufactured goods.
Back over here.
Yeah,
It's right
I got
next to
a picture.
Prestona.
I got a picture in the way. Oh, you mean Plingaro?
Oh, Englaro, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to where we came from.
Yeah. And then you go down 1 to Ribicure there.
Yeah.
So go back 2 steps.
So if you want to make things simple, pick one of the common trade goods as cargo and buy that, and you can sell it. Or I can see if you talk to the apparatoi, they might be able to suggest a better deal or something that's aching to go to Prenglaro or Ribicure.
Why don't we just get some freight? Just get some freight, knock it out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have a whole lot of money to spare on this one.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
I can throw a bit of money, a bit of stuff.
That sounds good to me.
if you just want to haul freight, you got a huge amount to fill it with. So do you do all?
Is there like money lenders here at all? Like a bank?
Yeah, there are banks.
Yeah,
Will
I
they
think we're
lend
getting
money?
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good idea, Mentat. Let's just pick up some freight.
Okay, so would you pick up all 57 tons of freight to Pranglar? I can see what the freight table says about the amount of freight available.
Hmm.
There might already be bananas going to Pringler, so we'll just haul them.
Peaches.
Peaches.
Peaches, not bananas.
Peaches moving to the
Yeah,
country.
Pranglar or Rick
Mm.
Bueller. How do you pronounce that? Ribucler?
See,
Rivicure.
see how much
Yeah.
freight you can get, and if we've got any space left over, I'll buy some food or something.
Peaches in a can. Peaches come in a can.
Mm.
Like
Okay,
it.
let's see. Freight. Major lots, minor lots, incidental cargo. Let me see.
Mm.
Let's get those major lots.
Yeah, major lots is 1D times 10 tons of freight available. Determine the number of cargo lots. Roll 2D on the freight table 3 times, once each for incidental, major, and minor. And then there's a bunch of factors. Let's see. Oh, world population. Ooh, okay. How does this work? That looks complicated.
Oh.
Let's see. Determine the number of cargo lots available. Roll 2D on the freight table, traffic table 3 times. And what's the freight traffic table? Once each for incidental, minor, and major lots, and apply the following modifier. What do they mean by? Oh, there's the freight traffic table. Okay. Okay. Well, the average is 7, so that's 3D. So they're talking about 30 tons. Basically, I'm going to say that because major cargo adds up to minor cargo and adds up to incidental cargo, I'm going to judge, just to streamline things, that you could probably find all 57 tons of freight to get to Pranglar. Its population, as I said, is in the millions. Okay, so if it goes world population 670 n plus 2 and everything like that. Okay, so I'm going to say that if you hustle around, you can just barely get 57 tons of freight all going to Pranglar. You don't know how much of freight might be going between Pranglar and Ribicure, because they're very similar worlds. But if you want to buy 57, well, you don't have to buy it. If you want to load up on freight, you can get 57 tons of freight. So let's see, instead of hauling common raw materials now, optioned it for 4 weeks from now.
Now, when you say haul freight, like what is the freight?
Freight is any
Just freight.
assorted cargo that one world needs to be shipped to another. You don't worry about what it is. You don't have to
Oh,
pay for it. You
And it's
just haul
always
it,
legal.
and yeah, and you pay if you're going jump one. If you're going 1 parsec away, you get paid 1,000. If you did a 2 parsec jump, you get paid 1,600. Since you're doing a combination of jumps, it's 1,600 per 2 parsec hop. So that's 1,600 per tons you're given at destination. And the tradition is that if you picked it up on a high port orbiting the planet, you can
That's where you drop it
deposit it
off.
on a high port orbiting the destination planet. But if you picked it up on the surface,
You go
you
to the
have to deliver it
surface.
all the way to the
hmm.
surface of the other planet.
Mhm.
But it's an easy money.
Hmm.
But RUR67 speaks up and he says, he asks, well, I've been running the numbers for that. Is that really profitable?
No, but they want us to store our cargo somewhere and pick up some other stuff to sell.
Okay, so
Yeah,
uh,
it's a gap in a moment.
it's not bad. It's an amount of money. 57 tons times 1,600 for the 2 parsec jump will give you a certain amount of cash. And where's my calculator?
It's good
Forgetting
cash.
what button. There it
But
is.
we've got to pay for petrol and life support there and back.
I have an F key to call up my calculator, and I guessed it right the first time. So, um, uh, for the record, 57 tons of freight across 2 parsecs. That's you 91,200 credits. 5% of that is a commission to the crew that's split 8 ways.
Not bad.
Times 5% divided by 8.
Hmm.
Divided by 8. Nice, easy, round numbers. But the commission per crew here is 570 credits.
It's not peanuts, I guess.
Okay, so I think if you keep doing runs like that, head office at Argazidon Shipping might wonder why you're not pulling enough profit. So they're
Yeah,
going to run the
570
numbers.
credits
Yeah.
a piece. Oh,
That's
Yeah,
God.
for the crew, our 5% share. The
Oh.
actual thing will make us 90,000.
Hey,
which
they
is
sent us to
okay.
this.
It's
They
Baseball.
sent us to
really-
this place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Head
Less
office
cost.
sent,
we got to jump
head
where
office
we.
sent us here.
Well, the first person you have to
Mhm.
obey is Brianna Anderson because she made a special message. It was pre-recorded, pre-stored in your computer banks, apparently. The next best thing is the apparatoi are working for the Merchants Guilds, and they'll be very eager to tell you about possible jobs and things that you can do, hopefully at a profit, because the the trade, the cargo haulers here are not necessarily efficient, so that's why they brought in hotshots like you from the frontier. The third thing is these other strange unconventional jobs, like talking to little gecko aliens called the Savrettes. So that's the third layer of possible jobs. So it's something to do. It helps you see planets that you didn't really see before. Um,
And yeah, there's
okay,
money
so
coming. Is the point?
yeah, it keeps you floating.
We just got to get there.
Yeah, and you got to buy a certain amount of fuel and life support
Mm.
according to the whatever it was, the Steppenwolf sheet. You have a certain number of life support right now. You're not using life support while you're in dock here. 8 people for 3 maintenance periods. Okay, that's 4 weeks. People, yeah, so you got plenty of life support like that. You won't necessarily have to buy it. Your ship funds are basically at the nominal starting amount. And I don't know what company profits are, 1,460 credits. I don't know what that is on the sheet. Let's see. Oh, and don't forget, I gave you this message once. Let's see, I'll post it again in the Discord. Here's the procedure that you follow if you wanted to try to dig out Brianna's messages from the computer memory before they're scheduled to be triggered. This is the procedure that you have to follow.
Yeah, shouldn't we do that first since she's the first one? We have to get rid of that contract.
You don't
I
like
was
it?
hoping to do that, but I need higher computer skill to really
Oh,
make sure
who's
we
got
do
the
that
computer
safe.
skill?
The
Me,
problem,
but
Who's got the computer skill?
I think
I have computer skill, but yeah,
Computer
Yes,
skill
that's-
1, I think.
it's not
But
good
I
enough.
think Ved's going to be better than
No,
Edgar.
I forget what my skill is exactly. Let me check. It's the highest we have.
Oh,
My computer skill is +3,
well, isn't
and
that
even
good?
then, that's a plus. Well, yeah, that's good, but
So you need 11
notice
or
the
12.
formidable 14 plus success roll. Yeah, 14 plus is hard to roll. I was hoping to get
Yeah.
my computer skill up a notch before we do that.
and the thing is though,
I don't know. I can think,
if we piss around with it, and then suddenly we find
exactly.
that it's booby trapped, so it screws the ship. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing that I
That's
think.
why I don't.
Hmm.
That's too risky. That's too risky to mess with. It's
Yeah.
too
Not
high
unless
of a
I have
roll.
skill.
If it was a regular
If-
roll, like an 8 or
if
plus,
it-
that would be, yeah.
Yeah, there'd be no problem with a +3. I'm not good enough to do that. I'd be afraid of a low roll doing.
Fine.
What's a little low roll amongst friends?
Not like it hasn't happened before.
No.
Yeah, yeah. The problem is that that kind of low roll might actually screw us.
We don't
So
want to turn into criminals, man.
Why,
Not
why
a
do
good
why do
plan.
villains rub their hands
Yeah.
together sinisterly in movies? Why do they do that? I don't understand. I
All right,
think I
let's
could do
not
the
worry
motion.
about Brianna's secret messages. We'll get her secret
Oh,
messages in due time.
yeah. I didn't think about any consequences ahead of time, but you got to be warned. I have run Cyberpunk before, Cyberpunk 2020, so I'll
Oh,
expose you to the full
yeah.
gamut of
Good
computer
Mm.
times.
accidents.
My brother loved that game.
It's a good game.
Great, great. So anyway,
Okay, so it
you
sounds
can
like
pick
we
up the
got
freight,
freight. Do
okay?
we want to chill here for 5 days, or do you want to get going right away?
Let's go.
Yeah,
Tomo,
let's
You
you
get
probably
going.
pick up the freight.
gotta say goodbye to Krissa and Lauren or whatever her name is.
Um,
Yeah. Who was it again? There's so many names. I mean, names are flying by with whoever it was from last week, Jerry and
mm,
Tomo. I mean,
That's
Brogan and Tomo.
I mean, two that's got a little tear in my eye, I think.
Yeah.
Brogan's a little sad. He's gonna miss all that action. He wants to
You know what
stay
song
here.
you are doing? You're doing
mm.
the Verdulan version of Mambo number 5. You know, a little bit of Hanukkah is all right and all that
Um,
stuff. That's the song you're singing.
Oh
You're a
A
yeah.
little
pilot.
bit
You
of
gotta
this,
go.
a little bit of
Say
that.
goodbye
Dun
to the
dun
ladies.
dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun
And
dun
Say
is
goodbye
dun
Astria
to
dun
is
dun.
the.
is Astria doing anything similar just for fun? Not trying to pry, but just
Gonna
asking.
say bye to the girls.
No,
So
no.
Astria is the
No.
quiet type reading a
Yep,
book on the beach or a tablet
that's
on the
right.
beach.
She's really not even a
Okay.
beachy person. She's got like the umbrella and the towels, and she. Ugh,
She's not
I could
beachy.
just picture
Okay.
her too.
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mm,
All right. Continuing. So of course the natural beauty of Flostono continues. Um, now the day and night cycle is whizzing rather faster than you're used to on Earth. It's
mm,
sunrise for 7 hours, sets for 7 hours, rises again 7 hours, sets for 7 hours. The locals treat all this as one single 28-hour day and try to ignore whenever they're partying by day, partying
mm,
at night. Turn on some floodlights, they can keep partying. Basically, very bad
mm,
techno music. I think I tried to give you a Verdulan sample of Verdulan techno.
Excellent.
Uh,
mm,
very cheap.
Dull,
Um,
mm.
soulless dance music.
Ugh.
yeah, and well, the very worst is oh good lord, turbo pop from Serbia. Oh good lord. Anyway,
Wow.
No.
My
No, I
brain's
know
like,
exactly what it is.
No.
Have you guys ever had an MRI scan?
Yeah.
The sound of the MRI scanner
oh
going peep
God.
peep pop
Bang,
pop pop
bang,
pop.
bang, bang,
Uh,
Yep,
bang,
I
bang.
love it. It's like German techno funk.
ugh.
exactly, exactly. So,
Oh,
uh, but otherwise, it's just the slight cultural quirks and particularities. Otherwise, you are in one of the most prime garden locations in the whole sector.
And we
Now,
got to leave
let
it
me think.
early.
I'm going to go nuts trying to convert, Universal Galactic Days to Flostono days.
Oh,
We're
wouldn't
probably about day 75, 76
yeah.
by now.
Wouldn't the sixth day on Flostono equal 7 days elsewhere? Just because it's
You're
4 hours
correct.
over each time.
Yeah, exactly. So when she said 6 days, she was really offering you a 1 week vacation in stellar time, 24
Hmm.
hour days.
And now we're
So,
not having. We've
Nice.
decided to do work.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
You're
Isn't
not
that a
fixing to leave
bummer?
early.
Eh.
Kind
Not
of a
fixing to leave
bummer.
early, but you will have to arrange. Well, I think the easiest task you can have is to arrange the loading of freight. And as long as you do it near the end of your vacation, they'll tolerate you sitting around for a day. But then you take off to wherever. And of course, freight has sort of a time limit. Um, and if you're too slow to pick up freight, they'll give their freight to somebody else. But freight comes in pretty constantly, like a steady stream. You can pick it up. It's actually indirectly arranged from the apparatoi. and the communes give you the freight of whatever it is, and you ship it over to the world they need it shipped to. So very easy stuff. It won't take much time out of your vacation to do that. The paperwork is huge, but the apparato are behind you, so they're doing all
Much
that.
time. We're blowing the rest of the holiday on jump space, just getting to the
Yeah,
first place.
that's right. And
Yeah.
now this will be what you arrived around day 73. If you have a week on Flostono, then by day 80, your holiday will be over, and you can either get accommodations somewhere else or leave the planet. Um, but around day 76, let me see. I'm trying to think about encounters here. I have some stuff
I would
prepared, and
probably
as I
call back Sir Lich and tell him, yeah, we're gonna grab the stuff for you.
okay, let's handle that. So, um, okay, so freight is easy. You can pick up 57 tons. Captain Derwatt is calling Sir Lich.
Yep.
Sillage.
Cerebral or whatever.
Okay, he said something like "Hello," be fast.
Fast.
You're
Hello,
on,
this is
Justin. What?
Wilson DeWatt. I talked to my crew and we will accept your deal. We are getting ready to jump to Ribicor by the week's end. We should be back here within 4 weeks.
Okay, and then Sir Lich says very quickly, "Well, that's very good. You have a contact, and my contact is going to be," blah, 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 blah," and he gives you some kind of name really, really quick, which I'll just pick up from
Can you
the
say that
handout.
again slower if possible?
Let me pick out a
Was
name.
that
Very quick.
blah 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 blah
Oh,
blah?
it's two blurs. Two blurs.
Come on, man. I heard it. Two
Oh
blurs.
Jesus!
Okay, let me give you a name from the appropriate handout wherever I saw it here. Where was it? Am. Okay. Fortunately, the Savret handout had a bunch of sample names.
Yeah.
So he gives you the name, and this is the person on Ribicure that you are to contact at a certain coordinate point. So your contact on Ribicure
Here's the
is.
stab rats.
I had 2 weeks to practice the other name. Let's see if I can pronounce this name. This is Naserni Polichalnaran.
Sri Lankan.
Oh, Folderan. I know him.
Not Falderan,
No, no, Folderan and his brother.
Chalnaran.
Foldery,
Naran, Naran.
Foldera,
Naserni
Foldera.
Polichalnaran.
Ah,
Oh, the sturdy pawn, the Chatteran.
Bless you.
Naserni
Oh, sorry, I thought
Polichalnaran.
you sneezed.
Oh,
And I'm going to turn. Let me see. I'm going to go back to the handout and turn that name in red, to show that it has been used.
Right.
Right there we go. Cerny Polnachalaran. Easy.
Cerny
So he gives
Pol
you
Sri
Cerny
Lankan.
Polnachalaran. Are you having so much trouble? It's ordinary
Yes,
Sabret names.
that's right. It is, isn't it? It's ordinary.
Yeah. I'm talking to Sri Lankans all day at my work, so that's why.
Right.
But anyway,
Cerny
that's a name.
Pol
On
Neronatrin.
Cerny Polnachalaran. Want
Cerny
me to
Pol
spell it in
blah blah
Verdulan?
blah 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 blah.
I'll spell it in
Michelle.
Verdulan. You're
Mister.
probably reading it in Verdulan from
Yeah,
off the data. He
there
gives
you
you like
go.
a little data card and tells you it's
Mm,
on Ribicor, has a certain COM number. Once you get to Ribicor, dial the COM number, talk to this guy. This guy
mm.
will connect you with the 6 tons of the freight,
Of
freight
the art.
X. Yeah. And so that's the pretty much the essential thing you need to know. Do you have any other questions for uh,
Cerny Pol blah blah
Lich,
blah.
first guy? Yeah.
Blibby lop.
Well, you're talking to Sibrin Lichen Repitlian. Do you have any more
Oh,
questions for Sibrin Lichen
Can
Rapichian.
I
Repitlian?
say art and then like raise an eyebrow and see if I get a reaction?
You're saying art to Sir Lich.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned art to Sir Lich, and he says, "Art? What's that? Art? No, I don't carry art. You mean like paintings? There's some human colors I can't even see. What are you talking about? Why would we carry art? What are you talking
Oh
about, art?"
gosh, I opened a whole bag of worms.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Is another
Mhm.
cargo. You want this art, you talk to some other factor to haul the cargo. I'm talking about very special cargo X. You go to Nacerni Polnichalnaran on that planet, Ribicur, and call him and he'll give you the 6 tons. And then you bring it back here. Okay, if you want art as well as that, you do what you want, but art is art, and I don't think I see your reds and yellow colors very good. I see the ultraviolet colors, which you can't even see.
Thank,
Isn't that funny?
thank
You
you,
can't
Sir
even see
Lich.
all the
Yep.
same colors. Okay, okay, very good. Have a good day. Vic. Okay. Um, now, when you get to this point, day 76, so I'm just going to make a note that Sir Lich gave you the name of a contact
Hmm.
on Ribicure.
Surly Polnachanaran or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Nacerni Polnichalnaran.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my job has given me superpowers. Uh,
Right.
yeah, and anyway, um, now another thing happens. Just trying to think. I'm sort of thinking about random encounters here. You're supposed to have one every 6 hours, according to the game, strictly speaking. It seems a bit too much to me. Oh, and I'm sorry, Steve, you're talking about a special action you want Steve to do.
No, Sasu's
Uh,
just going to go and get a whole lot of buckets of sand for this beach party.
you
Apparently, Tomo's
you type
throwing.
sane. You type sane where
Yeah,
there it
sane
We
equals
is.
don't have
sand.
any of
Gotcha.
that on board this
Yeah.
ship.
No sane.
No,
No,
I'm getting
there's
some.
hardly any sane.
Nope.
Okay.
Rush out.
And
There's no
Tomo
sanity at
Tomo is
all.
Tomo is still in that habit of collecting a rock from every planet he's been.
Cersei,
So
No, not
Ryan
me.
Tomo is still doing that.
No, Tomo
me,
doesn't
I am.
collect a rock.
Oh,
He
Sasiri,
collects a trophy, but not a rock.
yeah, I collect
okay.
the body of the planet.
I think Tomo bought a surfboard or something.
He did.
Yeah. That's his. I think that would be his main concern right now. Yeah, I wanted to sort of do a round robin very quickly about things your characters might be likely to do at this point. The freight is hardly any effort on the part of Captain Derwatt. What else do the characters do? Jen is still on the beach reading tablet books.
Yeah.
Brogan and Tomo are the surfers.
I'm just after
Captain.
I gather all my buckets of sand and put them in my room. I'm just going to go and float in the sea for a while, with
Okay.
in full clothing, of course, because that'd be in a modest
Okay.
pool.
So Cicely collects buckets of sand. Is it because you didn't find a likely looking rock? I don't
No,
understand.
no, I've already done that part. I've got a
Okay.
small, tiny amount of sand in a little toughened glass canister that I've got on my shelf. No, this is for the
And
beach party that Tomo is going to apparently said we got to come as a beach theme party.
uh, in the
Oh,
olden days, they stored buckets of sand in every room because they did not have chemical fire extinguishers at the
that's
time.
good too. Yeah, no, I'll also need to get a lot of glue.
Sand and glue. Okay,
Yeah,
what is this?
Oh
Kindergarten
boy.
crafts time? What are you doing?
it's a communication thing.
Macaroni art.
Yep.
Okay. Is he going to steal the macaroni
No, no, not using
from
macaroni. I'm using
Tomo's
sand.
kitchen?
But that's okay. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Weird. All right. I'm
that's
going
what
to add a
Cesare thinks.
new. Uh, I'm going to add a new factor here, as follows. The hotel front desk. As I said, this is the Moonlight Breezes commune that have set themselves up as a tropical resort. They channel a call. Um, I guess it would be to Captain Wilson Derwatt first, um, and they say that you have a call from outside. Uh, uh, and they say it's kind of an intercontinental call, so it's off on some other island or continent somewhere, and they don't know anything more. Do you take the call, Justin?
Hmm.
Take the call. Roll the
Take
wheel
the
of fate.
call.
Yeah, roll the wheel of fate.
Mm.
Wheel of Fate.
Come on. Are you a traveler or are you a
Captain
pushy?
Dorat's not available at the
Uh,
moment right now. Call back later.
Really? Okay. You give them that.
Yep.
All right. The hotel
I'm
signs
chilling
off
on the
then.
beach.
Okay, you're still out on the beach. How much longer are you on the beach?
For 5 days till we
Five,
take off.
4
days.
days. Okay.
What?
Is he being left behind? I thought we were getting all this freight together and then taking off.
Yeah.
You, at the end of your vacation, you can pick up the freight, and then on the last day of vacation, when that's expended, you can go. You can go back and
Brianna's
live on your ship.
forcing us to relax.
No, not forcing you, but this is a pretty
Yep.
sweet deal, you know.
Hmm.
Expensive package vacation or fairly expensive. Like I said, the grades of experience, there's different grades of experience of Flostono tropical vacation, although that's, you know, it's strange to have different classes of vacation in a classless socialist society, but that's how it is. Um, okay, now towards the end of the same day, early evening, again, the hotel tries to call Captain Derwatt and says there's a call for you from another continent.
Dang it. Hey, Brogan, there's a call for you.
No, it's for you, dude. I'm on vacation. The boss said we got vacation. I'm
It's
going
during
back to
my
the beach.
vacation.
You're the captain. That's tough shit. I'm not. I pilot. Right now, our boss, your boss, and my boss, our superior, says enjoy yourselves.
All right,
So I
shush, shush.
think.
I'm on the phone. Hello, this is Captain Derwatt.
Okay, let me just draw something if I can draw it. Okay, let's see what this looks like. There we
Hmm.
go. Uh, okay, got to pick up the. Let's see. Oh, hello. This is. He's speaking in Verdulen. Are you Captain Derwatt?
I guess so.
Okay, my name. Okay, my name is Anne Maria Celavisto, and I'm calling from the city of Valparaiso. And
Bella
I'm
Vista from
calling.
Valparaiso.
That's right. Let me spell these things out. Let me put these out in the
Not
chat.
there, Brogan. Brogan.
And on the scale of things, the city of Valparaiso is about like 13,000 kilometers away. Probably, probably still at night when you're in daytime or you're in the evening. Um, and she says, "I am a producer for a hollow video show, a morning show, and it's a very it's a planet-wide show that's um, uh, broadcast. And here's the name. Um, the name translates as "How are you feeling, Flostono?" So it's like a morning show. It's pronounced "Kiel vi fartas, Flostono,"
Of course.
and you can make all the fart jokes you want, but that's how you really say it. Uh, and the show is "How are you feeling, Floston?" with hosts Shiro and Ricky, and they're calling you because their show would be interested in interviewing RUR 67 and crew members for a 15-minute segment on our morning show. Uh, and would you be interested in participating?
Sure.
Oh God.
Why not?
Great, that's splendid. I'd like to send over some details to you, and it will be scheduled for. She gives a time which is about 1.5 days from now. So if you're in the early evening of this day, it'll be scheduled for the early morning of the following day. So you're skipping a day. Um, and she gives you details as follows. She transmits a little data packet, which is the equivalent of a business card. And basically, it's like the show's logo, which is projected on the holovision screens. And I'm going to read off some details about what it is. You can click the magnifying glass for more, and I guess if I showed this thing, I'll have to make it publicly viewable from now on. Let me just set that up. Edit in all players. How do I do that? There it is, all players. So now I've made this public. There we go. So this is sort of a rough sketch of a business card. It says, "How are you feeling, Floston?" with hosts Shiro and Ricky, and it shows little head outlines of these two celebrities, stylized heads of two Flostona celebrities. It's a show produced by the Val Hollow Network. They're organized as a commune in the city of Valparaiso. And Valparaiso is a city over here. It's close to the international dateline of this world. So what they do is they tape the show and then they broadcast it, rebroadcast it, going down the line westward to each time zone in turn. Um, and they want to interview RUR67 and up to 3 crew members for a session of 15 minutes. So there'll be a commercial break in the middle. RUR speaks Verdulan. If you're not comfortable speaking Verdulan, they will try a simultaneous translation system. And they propose a format as follows. The hosts will introduce you, and then they'll ask you the following questions. They're going to ask RUR67 what his impressions or its impressions of humans are so far. And then we'll ask RUR67 how it felt to achieve consciousness. And then ask RUR67 if it was hard to formally join the Verdulan Federation. And then they will go to commercial break. And then they'll ask everybody, they'll play a little game which they do with their off-planet guests. They ask each guest whether their world is hotter, colder, or airless compared to Flostona, because Flostona is the ideal conditions. So the audience gets to laugh at, the shitty hellhole home world that you came from. So that's their little game according to this. And then then they're going to ask the Steppenwolf crew what you think about the Verdulan Federation and how you met RUR67. And to all, they're also going to ask about that strange incident where there were intruders who assaulted the planetary matriarch, and I guess they mean Maternoster. And they seem to know that you helped to thwart this intrusion, so they want to know what happened there. And then to all the guests, they're going to ask, how does it feel to take RUR67 along your route? How is RUR67 as a crew member? And then they'll have closing remarks, and they'll have a coming up next wrap about what happens next on their show. And then they go to a commercial break. And she also says that one of our segments that day is going to be about the hot new food that seems to be sweeping Flostona, which is jelly eggs. And she uses the Verdulan term for it. And she said, did you guys have anything to do with hauling that stuff to this planet? We've never had it before. Apparently, it's all the rage.
Yeah, it's quite good. Yeah, we did have something to do with it.
Yeah, nudge,
We
nudge,
did.
and you got someone who knows how to cook it.
Well,
Oh,
And
are
we
you
got someone
like
who's
that
that?
remains
cooked
to be
it
seen.
before.
No, I
Are
cooked a
you?
meal and it was okay.
Did
Yeah.
Stay
Okay.
anyone
curious, sis.
Yeah.
did
Except
anyone
the
have an upset stomach the next day? That's all I'm
No,
saying.
oh.
no, I made my roll.
Okay.
Bread rolls.
Okay.
That's well, I know you can do bread rolls.
Yeah,
That's
I've
good.
never died from Tomo stuff yet.
Yet.
There's always a first time.
That's right.
You might have to spend a little extra time on the pot, but it's what goes down's got to come out.
Somehow, in some strange formation.
Kravitz City exit.
Oh shit!
No, we're not going to bring that up again
No,
ever,
no, no,
please.
no, no.
Never, never, never. Okay. So she gives you her business card. Very quickly, did Captain Durwood have any questions? Hello.
No.
Nah.
Okay. So
Appearance fee.
I'll ask
Oh yes, appearance fee. That's a good question.
67 if he's okay with this.
Okay. Oh, and I guess she would mention an appearance fee or um. Let me see. Just this is about the call from.
Has this been done over the net, or is it, or are they going to send a film crew in?
Oh no, you're going
I
over
think
there
we
in
gotta go
studio.
there.
Oh, I'm keen.
Yeah. No, it's not
I'll wear my
11.2
best. I'll
parsecs
wear my
away.
best chef's hat and a Flastono Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Because we're going to actually have a cooking segment, not adjacent to your segment, but some several minutes to I think it can be up to 3/4 of an hour afterwards. So if you want to cool your heels in the green room, so you're a shipboard chef and or sorry, you she asks if you have somebody who actually cooked this stuff before on the way over. Right now at the moment she's
Yeah,
just talking
he's
to
an
Captain
expert
Durwal.
chef. You should have him
Okay. Oh,
on live
okay.
TV.
Yep,
Lies upon
expert.
He'll do
lies.
great.
Yeah,
Expert.
I got
expert.
skill level 0 in chef.
That's better than me, so you're obviously an expert.
Yeah.
I know my way around a spatula.
Right.
Okay.
I'll do.
Oh,
I'll
As
do.
long as you can,
by the
I'll
way,
do
that
jellied egg burgers.
It'll be entertaining at the very least.
Let
curry
me check
jelly
here.
eggs.
Yeah, if
More
you
garlic. Boom.
Ugh.
more garlic. Okay. All right. So I wrote down basically what the suggested format is and who these people are. Steve, if you want to hit the magnifying glass just once to get the,
Oh,
full
I've had it
screen
up.
zoom of this.
I've had it
You
on the
had
thing.
it up.
Yep.
Okay, good. Just for the record,
There you go.
and it's my attempt. It's my attempt at trying to do a funky, fun Verdulant font just by hand. Nothing special. Um, but that's basically the logo of the show. Two stylized heads, uh,
And something with
and
a
that
two
writing.
squared.
Uh, and as you can expect, they're not a show to discuss serious philosophy. It's just a lighthearted morning show. Introduce interesting guests and do some amusing jokes and things like that. Studio audience, and they do have a studio. So I just had a view. Where is that view? Oh, here it is. Yeah. So if you get this thing full size, I think it's going to occupy your whole screen. Just a
Yep.
standard studio set type of view.
There you
yeah.
go. Right. Got that.
Yeah.
Done.
And you notice how I cleverly erased what used to be on the TV monitors and I replaced it with my Verdulin stuff
Oh,
to
Right.
really reduce it.
Ping.
mm,
Yep. Got it.
So typical studio stuff, except it's hologrammatic, so they have to light every angle of every guest from every side. In other words,
mm,
not to, because shadows will basically introduce false perspectives if they don't do it. And so you probably got your main interview area with a long couch. Well, a couch for the two hosts, more space for the two guests. There's probably a cooking nook here, and that's probably the middle part, and another alternative interview space on the right. So that's basically the whole thing, and I got to escape out of that to bring it back to small size again. And I typed exactly the same text in that handout, same thing. Um, so that's the show. Right now, you're in the end of one night cycle. You skip a day, and near the evening of the next day, you probably should um, travel to Valparaiso, or you can take a very, very, very early morning trip to Valparaiso. It takes about, if you do a suborbital shuttle, which is similar to a spaceship, you can do 14,000 kilometers in an hour and a half, maybe, and get to that city. So there are shuttles like that link every major city on the planet. Um, Let me check here. Actually, it's going to be sort of mid-afternoon. If you take off from Acapulco in the middle of the afternoon, you can land in Valparaiso in the early, early morning and still make it in time for the morning show, and then you can come back. So that's very easy. I'm going to quote you um, a transit fee of maybe 40 credits each.
Hang on, they
or
aren't
80
paying?
euro. What's that?
They aren't paying?
Uh,
I got to pay to be on TV?
they'll pay you an honorarium, and they mention what the transit you'd have to pay, but they're paying you an honorarium of they quote you since it's a planet-wide show. I'm just trying to see what the participation thing is. They're going to pay you. Um, they're going to pay you an equivalent of 600 credits each for your participation.
Oh,
Let me see if they
sold.
can go higher than that. 600.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
and
right.
if Tomo wants to take part in the cooking segment, they will pay
It's
Tomo
party money,
more.
Tomo. Plus, you're going to get more attention if you do this show. You're the cook guy. Yeah,
Next time I come back here, I'll be a star.
yeah. Okay, you got to go do that show, and then we'll go to the beach. And,
I'll get T-shirts printed
yeah,
everywhere.
meet some more friends.
Yeah. In the mornings, they probably have a 40-50% share of all the viewers on the planet, or at least those who view stuff in the mornings and those who aren't hungover. But being hungover cuts into their audience. You know, some people wake up much later than their show, so it evens out. It cancels out.
Oh, let's go.
Okay, so by 24 hours from now, you can take a trip to the city of Valparaiso, to the studio, and they ask you to come in no later than I'm going to say 2 hours ahead of the show.
Makes sense.
Okay.
And which three of you would go? They probably want Tomo if he's a chef or cook. Who
I'll
else
put my
Hey,
hand
goes?
Oh,
up.
Terry, he's the pilot.
Okay.
and
Sure.
Captain.
Oh, the captain. Yeah.
And Captain.
Yeah, the
All right,
captain for
fine.
sure.
Captain
Alright,
and
fine.
Going?
Jerry
Am I
and
going? I
Tomo.
want to watch Tomo do this, man. I'll be his sidekick,
Okay.
even if I can. I'll hand him flour and shit, and wink and smile at the
You can hand
screen.
me my spice weasel.
Yeah.
Oh, what is a bromance?
I don't know if I want to mess with the spice weasel, but I ain't doing that shit.
So you're a weasel wrangler. You wrangle the weasels. You wrangle somebody
Well,
else's
on
weasel.
my personal equipment that I bought on my gear, I put down a full cookery pantry with spices
Oh.
and various staples.
There you go.
So
Okay, so there's med kit, there's engineering kits. You want a cooking kit? It's
I
like
do.
20
I've already.
kilos or something.
Yeah, I've got it. Yep.
Okay,
Why
we can
not?
invent that sort of thing so you can have
Yeah,
a
why not?
steward kit, cooking chef
Yeah.
kit.
Well, you see, I'm hitting two things here because I'm now steward zero, and I actually have the profession of chef at zero.
Oh, I've got to
Mhm.
do that thing that has
What
to be
thing?
witnessed. I had to do something, but it said it had to be witnessed. Something about a skill.
Learn your
Oh, you
skill.
had to. Yeah, that's right. Oh, you're right. You're right, Jen. You
Mhm.
came in a bit late.
Yeah.
Let's do
Yeah.
that now while we're at it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do
Turn
that.
it back
So
into
what you have to do
normal.
is simply this. What is the skill that you developed over the 8 weeks of full-time or free time that you had in Jump? What was it that you wanted to get
Um,
at level 0 or develop to level 1?
let's see. What was it? 0. Was there choices of, or did I just?
You can choose pretty much any skill in the skill list that
Oh,
you know,
okay.
whatever you think is good for career development. Steve chose something, but he didn't make his roll today.
Nope.
Okay.
And the other people chose
A,
this a week or two ago.
a career development.
Dismissed by one.
Hmm.
In the booklet, there's the whole rules are available.
Hmm.
Whatever the page number was.
Well, what about? Well, is there such a thing like mechanic for medical equipment, like fixing medical stuff or anything that has to do with supplies or not supplies.
If you had to try to repair your own gear, I would still make that a medicine roll.
Oh, okay.
The
Mhm.
electronics is a
Specialized stuff.
Could be
Yeah, I've got
possible.
electronics already. Well, I could do electronic. Yeah, because electronics is only a 0. I could try to make it a 1.
You can pick a new skill at 0 or develop a skill to level 1. If a skill has specialties, of course, you can only pick one of the specialties in the family of the skill. So,
I could
are
try
you
to make
interested?
electronics.
Okay, because you currently have very, very quickly. If we develop that,
I can make electronics 1. I can try.
yeah. You can go from electronics 0 to electronics 1. So all you have to do is on your sheet,
Okay.
click the education button, and that automatically rolls 2d6 plus whatever your education dice modifier is. If you make 8 or more, you have gone from electronics 0. Well, okay, you have to you have to pick one of the electronic specialties such as sensors, computers, remote, and whatever the other ones are.
Oh,
So to go from 0 to 1, you already have all the skills of electronics at 0. If you want communications, remote ops, sensors, computers, you have to pick one of these, and that will increase to 1, and the others are still left at 0.
so right now I'm just rolling education, right?
You click the education button, and that's going to
Okay.
roll 2d6 plus your education modifier. You got to make an
Okay.
8 or more to succeed.
Let's go. Oops. 9.
And you have,
There you go.
whoops, where is it? Okay, down there. Great. Okay, so you have succeeded. If you check the stuff about the skills, electronics is divided into the following skill specialties. There's that skill list. Here it is, skills, tasks. Electronics. Specialties are comms, which is, communicator, that Lieutenant Uhuru stuff, querying computer
Okay.
networks and so on.
Mm.
Computers, remote ops, which is controlling drones, missiles, robots, and other things. Sensors, which is using and interpreting sensors. So those are
Probably
the
you.
4 specialties in electronics. Which one would you like to have?
Probably sensors would make the most sense considering her personality and her job.
Yeah, and that might be helpful and relates to medical sensors. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
okay, so I'll put down that you have now gained. Let me edit the skill grid just to show that you've now gained in the electronics column. You now have sensors 1 plus 2. I think that was what your. Yeah, so I'm going to change electronics to sensors 1 plus 2, and you still have the other electronic specialties at 0 plus 2.
Okay.
Okay, so you've succeeded. So Astria gains electronic sensors level 1 plus 2 more from the whatever it is, an intelligent bonus.
Mm.
Oops, I gotta make it bold. Okay, so that's successful. Let me see. Okay, so what do people do in the 24 hours from this evening to next evening when you can set out to the talk show? Now, more than just the 3 can go there. If you want to act like the entourage, you can do that. There's no problem. I might as well try to involve everybody who wants to go.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
so
can.
you can do what? Sorry, I cut you off. What did you say?
Oh, no, I can do entourage and I can throw tomatoes.
From the audience?
What?
Mm.
No, you're not throwing no tomatoes, man. Tomo's doing shit. Don't be messing Tomo's groove up, man. We
Yeah.
got a plan here.
A plan.
Hey,
What is you guys
Yeah.
plan?
I'm wearing
The
my
only
best
plans I
suit.
ever
You
seen
don't
you
get
guys.
the suit dirty.
You got your face into.
they strongly limit they strongly limit the number of tomatoes they give to the audience. This is not like some Oprah show where they say, "Look under your seat, there are tomatoes to throw." No, not like that at all. It's a
Okay.
very lighthearted but well civilized show. It's all done in the Verdulan language. Now, language-wise, how do you want to do that? Do you want to be rigged up for a simultaneous translation, or do you want to try to actually speak in Verdulan, and that might increase the comedy factor when I make some rolls?
Oh no, I'll go for it.
Mm. Go for what?
Go for it.
Go for the language
What?
like raw and naked.
Yeah, I'm the worst person in our group at
Raw
Verdulan.
and
So
naked. Why? Nobody knows Vandulan?
yeah, everyone does. I'm the
You
worst.
What?
you
Everyone
passed
knows.
the
Everyone was competent except
so-called
me.
Hmm? Hmm?
yeah. You
That's
passed the
okay
so-called
though,
language test
because
to
you know what?
understand like
The girls
Oh.
will feel sorry for you. Oh, we can help you speak a little better Verdulan. Come
Oh
on
my
over here. Let
God.
teach me how to speak a little Verdulan. Let me
You
Guys.
show you
slide
how
a
to use
little
your tongue.
Verdulan in your Verdula.
Let me spice up your life, darling.
I want to
Yeah.
give you a little, put something in your Verdula. Verdulans.
there's no such thing as a
Yeah.
Verdulan.
It's
No,
all how you use your
I
tongue there,
I'm
Tomo.
not gonna
Yeah.
I'm not gonna confirm
That
or
guy's got a
deny
problem
that
in his
there's a
Verdula
Verdula.
oblongata.
Well, I'm going to show up in traditional Flostono
Hmm.
holiday attire
Uh-huh.
that I bought from the gift shop.
Oh.
Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to keep it I'm going to keep it a PG rated game here by saying that I cannot confirm or deny that there's an organ in the body called a verdula, simply because I'm going to have to ask the school nurse first.
Well, you, everybody knows what we're insinuating. Got a plan. We got a plan. Tomo's gonna have
Have a
sit.
plan.
Oh, I remember you. You're that big cook guy. And there's your sidekick handing you flour. We remember you guys on the beach rolling fatties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
come on back
that's
to our room.
your
Yeah,
long-term plan to gain street
Okay.
cred. Is that your idea?
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
his
Yeah.
long-term plan to get streetwise.
Okay. You're going to try to parlay your street
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh,
TV
we remember you
Yeah.
guys on TV.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
call that. I
yeah.
would call that tactics one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely tactics. Little persuade too.
Yeah,
How
It's kind
aren't
of
I
more
you?
like
got persuade.
TV
I got
tactics.
persuade 3. So you know.
I got persuade also. Hello.
Wow. Wow.
My
Okay.
name is
So
Brogan.
You guys are
Oh my god.
definitely
I
persuading.
could talk my way into any Verdula.
Oh. Okay.
Talking my way into some verdulas.
okay. Um, okay, I'd like to take a very short personal break. In the meantime, I'd like to ask players to consider
Mhm.
or talk amongst yourselves, discuss what
Mhm.
you would like to do in the space of time between early evening on this
Mhm.
Flostono day up to early evening of the next day. So that's like a 28-hour period before
Oh,
you have to go do the travel and end up in
Mhm.
Valparaiso in early morning
Mm.
their time, maybe 2 hours before the recording of the show. I'm going to say taping of the
Mm.
show, but that's silly,
Okay.
obsolete technology language, of course.
Okay.
Um, so talk amongst yourselves. I just want to take a. Oops,
do
can
what
you
you
hear
gotta
me?
do, Pierre.
Sure.
Oh, you can
What
still
I'm
hear
going
me.
to do?
Okay.
You know what I'm going to do?
Yeah. I can.
Now I'm worried. I'm
What?
going to practice.
Practice what? You're Vandulan?
Um,
I don't think it takes much practice.
Well, the whole Verdula thing, yeah, maybe it comes naturally.
uh-huh.
No, I was
It
thinking
does.
more of the.
It does
I
come
was
naturally.
I was thinking more
Mhm.
of the. If I've got to cook something,
Oh.
I got to actually make sure it actually works. So I'll practice. Although I don't think it's going to make much difference because my
I don't think
my
so.
character sheet, my character has profession chef, but it's a education based role,
You mean you're
Oh.
which I think
aspirational about
sucks.
cooking?
And well, I know it should be
Hmm.
more inspirational. So
Mm.
I'm not sure, but
Oh.
I've got a -1 on it, so
Oh,
I'm pretty
beautiful.
sucky at it, to be honest.
Well, she wants to go out to dinner.
Before the
Mm.
Hey
show?
Doc, I'll
Yeah.
cook you. I'll cook you. I'll
No,
cook you whatever
I
you want
don't.
for dinner.
I don't know. No, it's okay. Go out, see the sights.
Oh, okay.
You know, Where are we? Vendula? Is it
No, we're
Vendula?
over
Oh,
in
Stono.
What?
Plastono.
that's the planet,
Yeah,
but
we're
we're
still messing around on Flastono. Did a lot of
Okay,
business.
well, go to a Fostono
Valparaiso.
restaurant. You
I think
know, go to a
Oh, there's a great
Fostono restaurant.
the
Get some tortellini.
yeah
Tortellini.
Yeah,
resort
tortellini with.
restaurant is pretty
Can
good.
I come
Yeah.
with you for some tortellini?
Yeah, come with me.
All
for some
right, I'm
tortellini.
coming with you. I want to get some tortellini.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back now. I think I had my microphone muted, but I might have made a mistake. Did you hear me the whole time? The
no,
whole
No.
time?
no.
No.
So if you're
No. Oh
screaming, we
dear.
didn't.
Okay.
No.
I went with
Huh?
Astria to a restaurant
Yeah.
to get some tortellini
Yeah,
Yeah,
and some wine.
and some wine.
Mhm.
and Tomo hit the books to study a
Get
few
ready,
recipes.
There you go.
get ready for your show.
Okay. Tomo is studying recipes. I don't understand.
Yeah, he
He's
wants
got to
to cook
cook
stuff.
something.
He's gonna
Yeah.
cook something. He wants to make a good impression, man. Get the
Yeah.
beach
Can I
girls
Oh
assist
well.
rolling
him
in.
with my Steward Zero
Yeah.
skill?
Let me
Because I got
back up a bit and say
social
that what.
standing at least.
Yeah. They want to cook the jelly eggs in during the segment. So you're gonna have like a
Oh.
15-minute segment, and then there's gonna be a cooking
Mhm.
segment that's
Oh well,
maybe
I got a few recipes
40
for that.
minutes.
I got them from when we were back on Bill Offering. So
Bellerophon. Okay.
yeah, Billy
Uh,
Ruffian. That's it.
Belly off again.
Belly Ruffian.
Don't
Belly
worry.
Ruffian. No, Bellerophon. Come on.
No, in the Royal Navy, the HMS Bellerophon was called the Billy Ruffian. So
Really? Okay.
yes, that was its nickname.
Right.
Okay. I think the show producers and they have certain names. According to the handout, the person who called you was the producer's name was Anne Maria Televisto. She has a co-producer named Filippo Casaveto. And then there's a stage producer who you'll be dealing with who sort of handles stage directions and so on. Arturo Vermiro. So you'll be meeting all these people. If you want translation, you speak to a technologist. So there's all sorts of a crew for this TV show. Um,
Okay,
you're going to
I'm
be,
doing the old. I've
yeah.
decided I'm going to do the jellied egg, the jellied egg burger.
Burger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with a
Yeah.
burger and fries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
watch what
they
happens.
they had an idea for what to cook already. They tried as producers. They were pre-planning something, but if you want to suggest a change, they'd probably be open to it if you wanted to talk to them. Do you specifically call the producers of the show at whatever time it is, like in the evening where
I
you
don't
are?
want
They
to. I don't
probably
want to cook
cut out.
something I've never cooked. I don't want to cook something
Yeah.
I've never cooked before. I've got some bunch
Uh-huh.
of recipes from Bellerophon, so I'll be.
Yeah. So
I'll,
you're talking about the fishing commune.
yeah. I got a bunch of recipes from them. So
Yeah, from old Joe Whitley and his crew
mm,
and his people. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they probably gave you a very rustic
Mm,
maritime cookbook about jelly egg recipes.
mm.
Uh,
I just
uh,
picture Bubba from Forrest Gump going, you know, there's
Oh.
jellied eggs and jellied this and jellied that, and that's about it.
well, the movie was concerned about shrimp. Are you talking about shrimp recipes
Yeah,
from the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Shrimp.
kind of tastes like shrimp. It sort of tastes like a crab and fish combo. That's what it ends up
Mm.
tasting like. And the
Okay.
flavor lasts and lasts because of the nature of these
and
creatures.
make a great. See, to make a great burger. Mix it with a bit of,
Okay.
mix it up into a burger patty. Yeah, nice.
Okay. You want
I
to
believe
specifically
this.
call the producers of the show and propose that and pitch that as a recipe, and then they can smear it with some to make food shiny. They usually put a little bit of starch in water and mix it up and smear it over the thing so that it shines in the camera. So you have a teaspoon of starch and a quarter cup of water. That's what they do for Chinese recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Chinese
well,
food recipes.
whatever
Yeah.
they've got to do, I'm quite
And
happy.
then when they ladle the hot food onto the serving plate and the cameras pick it up in 3D and it shines and the audience goes, ooh, ah, okay. So that's typical cooking show stuff. So they're probably going to do that. So if you want to specifically call the producers and suggest this dish, you can say that. And, you
Yeah,
got a
it's
lot
a
of vendors. I
traditional
might,
dish from
okay.
the home world of this delicacy.
Yeah, I might have to ask you to make a performance role, and this is a live show. They're not going to retake. No retakes.
Yes.
Well, I tell you
You
what,
want to risk it?
isn't it really fortunate that I don't have performance skill?
No, but you have a steward
Yes.
skill. You
Yes,
can
I
use
do,
your steward skill or
and
your zero chef skill.
I got a 0
Uh,
on both, but my steward
yeah.
skill's a bit better.
So you might be risking your street cred. So instead of the beach girls admiring you for being a cook on the show, they're probably going to go tee he flubbed the dish, and it looked
Hey,
like
I
a
don't have to come back to
vulcanized.
this shithole.
And they're going to say, haha, he failed the cooking and it looked like a vulcanized rubber tire.
Yum.
I'm sure it's
Cheery.
not going to be that bad.
No,
Please, dice gods.
only if you roll a 2.
Just say I need a volunteer from the audience, and I'll stand up and come up to you and eat it. I'm used to your food.
Yeah, and yeah, well, they'll try to. They want to have the cameras pick up the food. As for the taste, of course, talk show hosts always sample the food or
Oh
the
well.
product, especially if it's
Yeah,
a
and they're always
Fair.
good, and
product.
they
Yeah.
always say how
Yeah.
wonderful it
Their
is.
funeral.
Well,
There's
you
a lot of
remember
money
the
involved in this.
Yeah.
Do you realize how much
yeah,
money this planet has spent on this crap? They're going to want to
well,
they're going to ham it up even if it's terrible.
yeah. Well, it's a delicacy. I think it
Yeah,
has
they always
a
do.
strong reputation when correctly cooked. But do you remember the Johnny Carson episode where they had a dog food commercial live within the show, like they did in the 60s or whatever? And then the dog wouldn't eat the dog food, so Johnny Carson bent down and ate it because it was the
Yum.
sponsor
on.
after all. So, this really happened. The dog
Mm,
would not eat the dog food during the dog food commercial. It was
mm,
Ed McMahon doing the dog food commercial, pitching the dog food,
Yeah.
but the dog refused to eat it. So the dog wouldn't approach the food, or maybe he was spooked by the studio
mhm,
lights or something. So Johnny Carson ended up crawling on all fours towards the food and eating the food and acting like a dog. And everybody was laughing and carrying on. So this really happened. So the people in a talk show are always going to praise the food no matter what because taste can't be transmitted anyway. The audience can't
mm.
tell. So that'll be
And
real
they've got a
funny.
doctor in the audience, so they're win-win
Yeah,
situation.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just take
Yeah.
the dog.
and
It's
and,
easier
and
for
there's a
the
lot of
human.
people on this planet that have spent authorities that have spent a lot of money importing this crap. So
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah.
hey, I can't
Well,
lose.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
it was a bit of a risk, but the commune, not the commune, but the corporation back on Bellerophon sold the jelly eggs, and apparently it has been making a stir, and it's a pretty good hit on this planet, and they'll probably get more, and it'll probably strain the capacity of Bellerophon to actually produce that many number of eggs, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so if you want to call, you don't even have to phone them. You can pass like a text message or something to the producers and suggest this, and the producers say, okay, well, if you are sure to come 2 or 3 hours in advance, we'll plan the cooking of this dish. And if you want to prepare specifically this dish, and we'll call it a frontier burger or something like that, frontier jelly egg burger or whatever name you want,
Potomo
you
burger.
can Tomo burger. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, there
absolutely.
you
okay,
go.
Tomo burger.
Branding.
Let me see. Trying to think of a funnier name for it. Tomo
Um,
chuck, Tomo sirloin. Uh,
Jelly
uh,
Tomo burger.
Tomo patty.
A Tomo patty.
a
Tomo
big
patty
Tomo,
or Tomo melt.
a quarter Tomo.
Tomo
Tomo
versed.
melt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tomo
I'd
Tomo
eat
patty
one.
melt.
Sounds delicious.
Tomo
Mm.
patty melt.
Yeah. Quarter
Getting,
tomo with
I'm
cheese.
getting Krabby Patty vibes
Yep.
here.
Krabby
Yeah.
Patty.
And look how
Krabby
successful they
Patty,
are.
Mr.
Fillet
Crab.
of
Mr.
fillet of
Crab.
egg. Yeah, fillet of
Mr.
eggs.
Krabs lives in a pineapple under the
Crabs,
sea.
Mr. Krabs.
Okay.
SpongeBob
Oh,
SquarePants.
Crabs in your bun. Yeah, okay. Crabs
Crabs
in
in your
your
Perfect the
bun.
buns.
recipe
I don't
of the
want crabs in
Krabby
my
There we
buns.
Patty.
go. Crabs in your buns will be the name of
No,
this food.
I
Oh,
don't want
Hey,
crabs
yeah.
in my buns.
all right.
Okay.
Crab free.
So
What's in your
yeah,
buns?
okay,
No
so
crabs in
the
your buns?
producers
Nope,
go with it.
nope. Crab
Crab
The,
free.
the,
free.
the
Well,
producers
that's
go with it,
kind
but
of
you should
that,
come
that's
3 hours
what
ahead
I'm.
of the yeah.
Oh
3
shit.
hours.
Come in 3 hours ahead of airtime then. Okay,
Oh, we
so
can make it then.
Can't
assuming
they
that
pre-record it and like fake it live in case he makes
No,
some
they can't fake
mistakes?
it live.
Nah,
Oh,
live
Here's some I
audience.
well,
prepared earlier.
they do the
Oh,
thing to hedge their bets. What do they do on a cooking show? They mix the ingredients, they present it, but then they
uh,
magically whip out of the oven the thing that they put in 30 minutes earlier.
Hmm.
Okay, so
mm-hmm.
to hedge their bets, that is
Yep.
usually more successful. So I
Yeah.
give it a plus
Makes sense.
5 because you're pre-planning it and
Hey,
it went into the
Doc,
oven.
I need some. I need something to calm my nerves.
Yeah, yeah. I think they
Okay,
hedge
holy
their
from
bets
Go
what?
by having
Vatican?
the
go
oven.
talk to Phosphor.
Yeah, yeah.
Vicodin?
I don't want to be too
you
calm.
don't want to get him all
Ketamine,
high,
ketamine. Give him some
dude.
ketamine. He's got a big body
Just let him
mass.
let him have his mind clear. We'll
Some
burn a fatty after. We'll
some
go back down to the beach. But right now, he's just got to deal with it. He's got to use his skills. He's got to sell
yeah,
the crowd.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah, but
got
it's gotta
this.
I
be
think the
relaxed.
pressure's off. The pressure's off because the cooking
No,
shows always put something in the oven 30
That's
minutes ahead
true.
of the
Yep.
air
If
date,
it
and that
sucks,
comes
just
out more
fine.
perfect. Yeah, so
Yep.
they avoid any problems, and they're not going to make
Okay.
the audience wait for cooking time anyway. And it comes out, and the studio lights hit it, and it's all glistening, and then you get the ooh ah moment from the audience, and then the coming up
Yeah, there
next
you go.
moment and all that. That's fine. Okay, so that's very, very good. Okay, so you you do that. Now on the morning of the next day, like in 8 or 10 hours, you're going to have to travel over to Valparaiso, but that's easy on some kind of transit. Um, you you don't get a call, but let me see. Where is Captain Derwatt at this time? Like around noontime on the next day for
Probably still in bed.
Captain Derwatt is still in bed.
Probably. He's the captain.
he was pretty busy doing all kinds of business shit. He got a
Yeah.
phone call, and yeah, he can't get a break.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to
Okay.
push his work off on his pilot? No, 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 Cap.
Doing all kinds
Pilot's
of
fucking
business.
off. Excuse
Okay.
the language.
Yeah.
Pilot's messing around.
Yeah, it's messing
Well,
around.
if he's in bed, he's getting a knock on his hotel room door. And are you there, Justin?
I
Did
don't
he
think
step
he
Is
away?
is.
Justin there?
Not
Uh,
hearing him.
Oh,
well,
is
Justin.
yeah.
is
We
it
might have to
Shelley's?
come back to that. What
Yeah,
is there
he
something
might
that
have
other
stepped
people are
away.
doing? Okay. Is
Well,
there
we
something
have
that
to
other
watch
people are
soon.
doing on this date?
We have to watch this show soon, so we can't go far.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can watch the show the previous day and get an idea of generally what format it follows. They encourage you to do that. So it's like a 2 hour show, probably between the equivalent of 6 and 8 in the morning. Uh,
What?
and then
I'm on
you know how
I
morning
holiday.
didn't.
shows go?
I
Morning
did.
shows like start at 6, go to 8 or whatever.
I don't know. I was shoot. Okay.
Like
Jen
at
doesn't see any of those early morning shows.
oh
Who do
Maybe
you think you're
wakes up
talking
half
to?
well, I
half
don't either
asleep.
No,
because I have to prepare for work, but some people are well,
you're not
like
watching
you
those
turn it
early
on.
morning
What?
shows.
You don't watch the whole thing, but you turn it on for the
No.
time as you're eating your
Yeah,
Wheaties or whatever,
like the
and you're
half
just
hour.
watching a segment of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
look, here's the show.
But they
Yeah.
keep the show going for 2 hours, and maybe they repeat
You
a bit
roll
of
back
news.
over
They
and
got
close your eyes.
yeah.
You can hear it in the background noise as
We
he's
got news,
snoring.
traffic, weather,
Yeah.
sports, traffic, news, and traffic.
Yeah.
Weather and
Yeah.
weather.
Don't forget
I'm
the
not
traffic.
getting out of bed yet.
No.
And then they talk. Then they have some, like, maybe author who's just come out with a book that says money can make
That's
you
right.
rich, or how I
Yeah, money
how
can
I
make you rich.
how I
I
how
want
I
to get
paid
that book.
money can make you rich, or the author comes out with the book how I made $100 in real estate.
Wow,
Or
that's just like
the
phenomenal.
psychologist
My
comes
mind's
out. The
spinning.
psychologist comes out with
Yeah.
their book that says molding your child's behavior through guilt and fear. Um,
Only way to go.
Yeah.
so there's
Yeah.
usually an author,
Shut the
or
hell
they
up,
do
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or they do some kind of silly
Yeah.
stunt, or stupid human tricks, or something like that. Or maybe they bring out a cute pet who won a dog show, or something like that. So morning
Yeah.
show, lighthearted stuff like that. Not philosophy, not Verdulan politics, nothing like that.
Mhm.
So that's
Okay.
generally the way the show goes, but it's not something that people are necessarily going to see all through 2 hours worth. Not
Of
necessarily,
course not. Yeah.
Now it'll
as
be
they're
the
getting up for
geriatric
work.
grandmas who watch
Yeah,
Tomo.
Okay.
yeah. Well, if you're on vacation, if you have leisurely time, maybe you keep the holovision tank on and watch all this. Maybe you do,
Ooh.
maybe you don't.
You got to be a
Wow.
pretty
Yeah.
seriously
In the
whacked person to
background.
do that on this
Remember to
planet.
record it for my
Of
diary.
course,
Yeah.
for playback.
Record
Record
it.
it. Why? How would you record it?
Well, be on TV. I'm sure
Oh,
we
well,
can
of course,
record
you
it.
record the show that you're on. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can set your DVR for holographic
Mhm.
imaging if you want. That's easy. Uh, and Okay, so when the time approaches, actually, let me see. There would be a phone call to Captain Derwatt. If the knock on the apartment door doesn't work, Captain Derwatt is going to get a phone call. And even though the player isn't here, I'm gonna mention what happens to the character. Are you there, Justin?
I think he stepped
Yeah.
away.
Mention away.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay. Well, um, there's apparently this guy who wants to talk to him, and I'm gonna make it public.
He's a very popular guy, isn't he?
What, the captain?
Yeah, everyone wants
Yeah.
to talk to him.
Isn't
What's
the
that about?
captain usually popular?
Oh
Yeah.
no, just like
No.
Anyway,
The
there's
I
this
don't.
pilot's
guy who
always
wants to talk
cooler.
to.
The
oh
the
Yeah,
pilot's
pilot's
always
always
the coolest. You know,
coolest.
the
well, I
pilot
don't
is cool.
know.
It depends. Did he like that
Sometimes.
tortellini?
Well, I'll tell
Tortellini's
Justin that
really yummy. I like the tortellini.
Did you like licking the sauce
I
off the
love
tortellini?
licking on tortellini. Swirly tongue and all.
Oh,
Yeah.
drinking and driving.
anyway, this character is sniffing around trying to talk to Captain Derwatt. The reason that people are contacting Captain Derwatt is
Mm-hmm.
that when you registered the ship, the Steppenwolf, it was only the captain's name that really had to be registered along with the Steppenwolf.
Mm-hmm.
So people more or less know that the Steppenwolf has landed on a planet and it's captained by Captain Wilson Derwatt. And the Verdulans probably have a list of your crew, but they don't pry more than that into what each crew member's position is or anything like
Cool.
that. So they
Good.
Yeah,
tend to contact
that's how
Captain
Ron likes
Derwatt
it.
first. Yeah, but Justin isn't here. I'll get to him in a moment. Um, so there's a bit of exposition having to do with that, but by evening you can certainly think about taking a transport over.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually about 3/4 of an hour or an hour away from Acapulco. So if you go there first and
Ooh.
then wait a little while to catch a transport to Cancuno, sorry, not Cancuno, but the city of Valparaiso.
Yep.
So, like I indicated, from here to here, or more like this, from here to here.
Yep. We're on the Fast Arc Express.
Oops. Yeah. How do I get that back? Never mind. There's a
You
way to
guys, I
get the
think I'm
lines out of
gonna
there.
I think I'm gonna sign out. I'm just shot. I'm about ready to pass out.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, I'll note that. Thanks for coming this long, Jerry.
Have a
What
Yeah.
go,
is your
matey.
Take it
function
easy.
if you're going to be one of the people on the sofa in this show? So it's Captain Derwatt, it's Brogan, and it's Tomo.
I want to assist Tomo, and I'm or in any way that can draw attention to me.
Okay.
And smile at the camera and wave, so we're
Okay. So
recognizable.
you're going to be seated on the couch and you're going to be talking. So it'll be they're going to give
Yeah.
you RUR-67, Captain Derwatt, Brogan, and Tomo will be there. So you'll be
And
seated
we'll
for
if I
the.
need any rolls, we'll let Steve roll for me. He can
All
look at
good.
my
Okay.
persuade or whatever. Tell me
Sweet.
how it's
Sure.
going.
Oh,
Okay.
matey.
Okay.
Uh,
Great. So with those
I'm gonna
instructions, that's
sign out
fine.
and crash because I'm just shot.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jerry.
Okay. Take it
Shot.
easy.
Catch you later, matey.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Mm.
Peace out.
Depending on
See
the
ya.
amount of material I have, I may have to end this a little earlier than the hour. Well, we may have up to an hour and a half left if you can all manage that. Or it could be a bit earlier than that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Now, very quickly, if people want to be part of the entourage, you all could go over to Valparaiso to this
Mm-hmm.
studio of the Valhalla company or commune or whatever they call themselves. But you have to sort of explain what your function is. Like Brogan wants to be Tomo's assistant even on the cooking. He's going to be on the couch, but he's also going to be Tomo's assistant in the cooking segment to make a Tomo burger or whatever Brian wants to call it. Uh, Filet of Tomo. Uh, quarter Tomo with cheese. Find a catchy name for it.
Double big
Uh,
Tomo. Double big Tomo.
Uh,
okay. So what would Virgil do? What would Cicely do if they want to come along? What would their
Well,
function or
I'm
role
gonna
be?
I'm gonna get dressed up in my best caftan with all the lovely embellishments on it, and my turban. This is my ancient
Okay.
tribe stuff. And I'll take along my traditional nose flute just in case I need to play some music.
Okay. Are you trying to push your religion on a Verdulan
No,
audience?
no, no,
Oh,
no, never
oh,
that. No.
Yeah,
yeah,
just
some
going to
kind of.
show our diverse and
Uh-huh.
crew.
That's right.
Okay, okay. Well, they might pan to the audience where you're sitting, and they might
Hmm.
catch this because the audience might eat this up. It depends on how fashionable you are. But okay, I'll note that.
It's quite
Uh,
ornate, my caftan and turban. Very
ornate
ornate. It's only
fashion.
it's only
Okay,
only brought out very rarely.
all right. Uh, what would Astria want to do? Does she want to go over and do something there? I think your best function, your most important use would probably be to stand by with a stomach pump. That's what you could.
Yeah.
That's what you could best do.
Excellent.
yeah, I could do that. Bring
Because
my med stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
medical stuff.
med kit.
People fainting in the crowd.
If Tomo brings his cooking kit, can Astria's med kit be far behind?
That's
No.
right.
So that's the idea. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm actually
Jen brings
hurt.
med kit. Let's say no
You'll get
more.
over it, I'm sure.
Hmm.
You can go all get a seat in a front row section of the audience, like
Yep.
when they sometimes pan the camera to,
Mm-hmm.
this or that, or relatives of the guests, or shit like that. You can do that. What would Ronnie do? What would Ronnie like to
He's
be?
staying out of the
Oh,
limelight, isn't he?
Ronnie is, Ronnie Ronnie decides not to have anything to do with it because optics are bad optics when you're in his line of work. He doesn't much like
uh-huh.
cameras,
Oh yeah, like
so yeah,
shade.
he's
That's
gonna,
his line of
Okay.
work.
yeah,
Shade.
So
Yeah.
you're a
he's
Faraday
probably
underworld
gonna,
type,
Oh,
so you
yeah,
choose
he's
not to be
probably gonna,
hologrammed.
he's probably
yeah.
gonna print out all of his credits
Considering.
and count the sad little stack that he's got left, and maybe
Okay.
go
Do you
skip
want to
some stones
stay?
into the think about how
Do
much
you want to stay
money he'll
back?
have when he comes back to retire.
Uh,
Do you
uh,
want to
uh,
stay back in the green room if you don't want to appear on camera? You can pretend that you're some sort of
Uh,
group
yeah.
security or something like that.
yeah, I could
Well,
do
you
Uh,
that.
could wear a hoodie with a
That would work.
baseball
All right.
bat and
yeah,
glasses.
yeah. Because
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
if you happen to be caught by a holographic camera and they're going to know all your facial biometrics, and they're going to rotate your face,
So
and the
put some
police will
stuff
get a
in,
hold of that
wadding in your
information.
cheeks, wadding in your
And yeah,
cheeks.
so so they're going to know what Ronnie looks like in case Ronnie ever moves or drugs within the Verdulent Federation again.
Ew,
Time you did well. Next time you might not be so lucky.
it's nasty.
Okay, so Ronnie stays out of the
Yeah,
limelight basically. Um, so
pretty
Ugh.
much.
Astria, Wilson, Ronnie, um, almost a guess. What is Virgil going to do? I may not have heard so much from Tony. Tony, what's Virgil going to do? Thoughts, ideas?
Tony's
I
probably
think you're,
asleep.
yeah, asleep.
Tony,
Uh-oh. What do you mean?
No,
As
seriously, he's probably asleep.
Tony, Tony.
okay,
No,
Tony,
I think he's asleep.
Tony,
okay. Well, we'll figure
Tony.
out.
I wasn't asleep. I was on the toilet.
Oh,
Okay, I'd
that's.
rather you were
Oh,
asleep.
you might as well have
Thank you
said
for
you were
that mental
asleep.
image.
Yeah, best
Oh,
said you were asleep.
Okay,
oh,
well, no
God.
pressure, Tony.
damn.
But I was asking. Everybody seems to be heading over to this show in the other city, Valparaiso, and
God.
everybody can sort of act as part of an entourage, or you're some sort of gangsta rap entourage, and your coats are probably loaded with weapons because it's a law level 3. Let's not forget. Uh, but what does Virgil want to do in particular? Does he have a particular role or something he wants to do, or does he just act as general security? Tomo is his own security. But you can act as supplementary bodyguard or whatever you want to do as Virgil.
Hmm. Uh, Virgil will hang back away from the crowd because he doesn't like being in the crowd, and
Okay.
like well, he will be there, but he's just
Okay.
the shadowy, the grey man in the background. So if
Okay.
anything does kick off,
Okay. Yeah.
Black suit,
All
black
right. Well,
tie, dark glasses.
if shit goes down, you're going to
Yeah.
chase bad guys along studio TV corridors and ruin
Shooting
some
wildly.
children's show filming Little Bo Peep or whatever shit like that, and
Yeehaw.
rush through sets,
Mm.
talk over sets and things like that. So you're the action man in case you're needed. Okay. Okay. So you're a
not
professional
really.
hangbacker.
Action
Okay.
man.
All right.
Action
And
man.
Is that acting man
yeah,
or action man?
action.
Action.
It was.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And that's a
Doesn't
Bowie. That's
matter.
a Bowie song, isn't it? I got a message from the Action Man. I'm happy. Hope you're happy too. It's a Bowie song. Message from
Okay.
the Action
Yeah, I
Man.
think so.
Oh, cool.
Okay, now today Mantar and Richard are away, so I'm trying to figure out what
Mantar's
Ved.
here.
Oh, Mantar, are you there?
I'm right here. Yeah, I've been here
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Yeah, okay,
playing.
Ronnie. Okay, sorry. So who am I missing? Ved. One, two,
Yep.
three, four, five, six. There's Ved, and again I gotta.
Brogan. That's it.
Okay, Brogan left. I mean, Jerry left, so we'll sort of role play Brogan. He's one of the guests, and we'll try to make Brogan say something witty, which is
Oh, that's easy.
incredibly hard to do.
No, that's
Saying witty
easy.
things on TV.
How you
Okay.
doing?
All right. Very good. Okay.
Uh,
Um, so let me see. Well, there's this guy, whoever he is, who's a bit frustrated because he's not connecting with the captain. But I'm going to make a roll here. You notice that we hardly rolled, well, I hardly rolled anything all night.
yeah.
Make a GM roll here.
GM roll.
Let's see. Roll.
Drum roll.
Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
And we all blow up.
Oh, no, it's
Mm-mm-mm.
No?
nothing quite
Get
so serious.
botulism?
In the
Food
building?
poisoning?
That's
No,
session
not
10.
everybody.
Uh, let's see. Okay, so the thing is that I want this guy to talk to somebody. If this guy can't find uh, if this guy can't find Captain Derwat, uh, he's going to try to speak to. Let me see who he's spoken to. It depends on how you interacted. Yeah. Uh, he's actually going to talk a bit to hotel staff, and after a while, um, he decides to find Astria. Where would Astria be in the early afternoon on Flostono?
Oh, in the early afternoon before the show?
Yeah, like say you got 6 or 7
Hmm.
hours before you have to travel to the show to make the morning
Ah,
time. It'll be early morning in Valparaiso. Where would
Wouldn't
you be
you?
in the early afternoon
hmm.
of this day?
Wouldn't you still be on the beach reading your books?
Well, that's the next day, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Getting a
I,
massage
wou-
from Jesus.
I wouldn't be back on the beach the next day. Maybe just some strolling.
Yeah, you're in the
What?
afternoon. In 6 or 7
Yeah.
hours, you have to make the trip to the studio over in the other city.
Okay.
But what are you doing?
Well,
What is Astria
uh,
doing at the moment?
gosh. Well, I want to be in an area where I could hop on the transit or whatever to get to the show. So maybe just strolling around the city, checking out the
Yeah,
sights.
you're
You
in a
know,
resort town. You have to go to
yeah,
Acapulco first and then to Valparaiso, but that's not hard.
yeah.
Um,
Well, let's see what's in Acapulco. Walk around and see the native
really?
sights. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were still at the
Oh,
resort. The resort is in the small
oh,
town of whatever I said there, name of small
oh.
town.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
you're still in the Moonlight Breezes Resort, aren't you?
isn't there sights to see in the resort or no?
In the morning, if you want to go to Acapulco, you can do big city shopping or something. But
No,
what
she's
would
not much of
Astria
a
do?
shopper.
No?
She's not a
Okay.
shopper. She's like an interest looker, like seeing what's cool out there,
Uh-huh.
seeing if there's anything she could, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because my point is that there is somebody
Mhm.
who's very interested in talking to somebody they can
Mm,
find from the Steppenwolf crew. And
mhm,
I've sort of decided that he's trying to settle on you. If you went off to shop in Acapulco, that would be a merry
mhm,
chase. If you're somewhere in the
mhm,
resort, like on the beach or in a
mhm,
cafe or in a beach
mhm,
chair by a beachside restaurant or wherever he is,
Eating
this guy
beach.
walks up to you. He's got a
mhm.
very uncomfortable
Okay.
looking suit on.
Mm.
It's 28, 29 degrees Celsius or something like that.
Wow.
He looks like
Okay.
he looks like a hard case, and
That's
he
commitment.
walks to you and
Uh-huh. Mm,
he asks in the clip Verdulin or he looks at that
mhm.
probably looks at some kind of clipboard where your names are all posted. Like
Yeah.
remember this thing. Let me see. Remember this thing. And he says, "Are you Astria Gaden?"
Yes, I'm Astria Gatan. What can I
Okay.
do to help you?
Well, I understand that you and the crew of your ship, the Steppenwolf, are going over to do a morning show over in Valparaiso in several hours from now.
Hmm.
Uh, is that correct? We heard about this or we obtained it from the show. My name is Timoteo Brazavillo, and I'm
Timoteo?
with the FRAP.
Well, Timoteo, that is correct. I won't be asked any questions. I'll be in the audience. Is there anything you're looking for in particular? Timoteo? Timoteo.
Astria offers Timoteo iced tea. Timoteo says, "No thanks."
You don't like any iced tea? What else do you want to drink? You can't just stand there. Let me offer you a drink.
Nothing on duty. I might be
Then,
perspiring a bit.
Uh,
He may have some
he
sort
said
of
duty.
techie gear in
well,
his
look at what
pockets.
you're wearing. Why don't you take off that jacket and put it over the chair? Jeez, kind
No,
of
thank you,
hot out
ma'am.
here.
One
You
thinks
suit yourself.
Astra is
Yeah.
trying to flirt with this man.
Yeah, I'm getting
Just
that feeling
he's
as well.
sweating all over the
No.
table. He might as
Yeah.
well take
Yeah.
off his jacket.
It's more like she's taking pity on him, but he's
No, no,
saying,
no.
Yeah.
I'm still with my inferences
Yeah.
where I'll sit.
"I'm on duty, ma'am." Yeah. Thing is, we got the name of Captain Wilson Derwatt as the captain of the Steppenwolf. You
Mhm.
were involved in that incident of an intruder on planet Flostono. Um,
Mhm.
we're kind of concerned about what you're going to say on this morning show if you're asked about the goings on Flostono. Um, and we know that some member of your crew actually fired a laser onto the
Mhm.
planet's surface in trying to oppose the intruders, and it would
Mhm.
be very bad optics if a frontier ship was known to have fired onto Verdulan territory. Because all the newspapers are going to pick it up and say this is the first time this has happened in hundreds of years.
Well, I don't know anything about firing.
You don't, but wasn't it Astria who
Mm.
fired the shot?
Well,
Yep.
was it? Is there
You're a gunner,
evidence
Out
of
of
aren't you?
that?
character,
Aren't
out
you a
of
gunner?
character, it was
Mm.
Astria, wasn't it? He's
Yeah.
not asking quite right
There were
now,
only
but
three of us on the ship. I was piloting the ship. She was in the
Yeah.
gunnery section, and Phosphor was doing
Ved
something else. I can't remember what he was doing.
was Ved the other gunner?
Yeah,
Mm.
Ved was the other gunner.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I recall correctly, it was Astria who,
Mm.
you all, okay, all three of you decided to bring a starship to a gunfight.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
that was original.
Well, we thought that we
And
just want to stop them from getting away.
yeah, and well, the ship was very effective because when you shoot a laser into a snowbank, you create a huge
Mhm.
plume of steam 20 feet high. So you had pretty much that kind of effect,
It was beautiful.
superheated steam.
Well,
Yeah. But it's sort of
things.
it, yeah, as an act,
Mhm.
shooting on Verdulan territory has sort of a romantic, newsworthy optics to it. So
Uh,
this agent basically says, whoever did it, we don't care. We sort of,
Mm.
we sort of put the confidence on that, so we don't care what you did, and your actions were sanctioned by the legitimate government of Frideo at the planetary
Mhm.
level. So the legal upshot was that you're not in any sort of trouble, but we want to go over the story and what you're going to say to these questions because our censors regularly supervise and oversee the scripts and things that shows we're doing. And this came up, and it came up that your crew is going to be
Mhm.
interviewed. So we
Okay.
wanted to go over
Well,
with it with the
mhm.
guests, but you're not one of
Uh,
the guests, are you?
no, no, I am not one of the guests. So you do
Okay.
not have to worry about me uttering anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, well, can we contact the actual guests? Where are they? We couldn't find the captain, couldn't reach him.
oh, he's probably another
I think
opium den.
out of
The
character, Steve is
captain.
going to have to play him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, Steve is playing
Mm.
Brogan.
I'm
Yes,
Brogan. Yeah.
Jane Brogan.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so you
if
might see Brogan walking along the beach right now, trying to pick up some
Mhm.
girls.
Yeah, well, the captain,
okay,
it depends on where the captain, he might be face
yeah,
deep in something that you don't want to know.
yeah. What's happened to Justin at this point? I will need him only because he's, as we expected, he's kind of the
Where's
face
Justin?
of the group.
Hmm.
And
I'm here.
Lieutenant
Ju-
Brazavillo,
Ah,
yeah,
Justin the
where's
captain?
Justin plays Captain Wilson Derwatt? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So where is he?
Brogan's the
Where's
first
Justin right
officer,
now?
or
So
Jerry
where's
is.
Justin then? Did it disappear?
There's Justin.
Hello.
Oh,
Okay, sorry, Justin, you seemed away for a moment.
yeah.
Um, here's the situation. The producer over at the show contacted you first just because you were known to be the captain of the Steppenwolf, so your
Yes.
name comes up first. And this guy, there's some sort of security guy from the Verdulan Frap, which is that top secret service thing.
Mm,
This guy is trying to contact you. He didn't manage to find you, but he found Astria first, and
yeah,
Astria said, Astria's not even one of the three guests who are going to sit on the couch. Well, there's
that's
you,
right.
there's
That
Captain
wants to sit
Derwatt,
on his
there's
lap.
Brogan, there's Tomo,
No.
and RUR 67. But this scary looking dude is trying to reach you, and Steve can probably just click the magnifying glass once to get the close up.
He's sweaty.
Yeah, he's sweaty. He's perspiring a bit, but maybe
Yes.
over the years on Flustono, he's used to it by now. He's sort of
Gonna give him a napkin.
yeah. He's probably wearing a lightweight summer suit. All the Hawaii 5-0 tricks for the cops from Hawaii 5-0, their wardrobe and all that.
He's
They're used
probably
to it.
wearing a suit with a Hawaiian shirt to blend in.
Yeah. He's probably got a water. He's probably got a water cooled hose running through his tie around his neck, so he keeps
Mm.
cool that way. All kinds of
Mm.
tricks are possible with water cooling. Um, so yeah, but he was mainly interested in talking to actual guests who are going to sit down on the show. And Justin, what was discussed was that the Verdulan security forces keep tabs on the scripts of TV shows or Holovision shows because they're not entirely free. They found out that
No.
the show was going to interview RUR67 and you guys. The show is interested in finding out things that happened on the planet Fredeo, but this guy is very keen that it never be revealed that a frontier ship, the Steppenwolf, actually fired on Verdulan territory. That's extremely bad optics. So he wants to go over with what you and the other guests are going to say when asked that question in the show script. He wants you to avoid the subject of, the starship involvement. You can say that you used weapons. You can say that you are allowed to you were given permission by the local planetary government to counter these guys, and you can come off as big heroes. But we do not want you to mention the involvement of the starship. That's very, very bad news. Very, very bad optics. The press will be um, all over that, like flies on a horse hockey puck, if you get my meaning. So, don't mention the starship. Don't mention bringing a starship to a gunfight.
Okay.
And so he's very officious about that. He says, "Are we clear? Are we green?
We're green.
Super green."
Green, Timito.
Hey, Captain, remember that Meta Nostra actually appointed us, or you in particular, as an emissary.
Yeah, you're acting as a kind of trade representative, and Virgil has made use or abused the diplomatic pouch courier system, or even abused that service to get information really damn quick. Um, but this guy, this agent Brazavillo from the FRAP, he's very insistent about not mentioning that the starship fired on the thing, and he whips out his little badge, like he pulls open his little his folding badge holder, and he shows you, and he says, "Okay, well let's reach an understanding about that." And I was never here, and then he walks away.
All right.
Hmm.
I'll tell
Okay,
Brogan and Toho not to mention the gunner turret.
okay. Uh, all right. So all of you, the time approaches where you can make a simple commute. Um, you can go first to Acapulco and then pick not just an anti-gravity shuttle, but a suborbital shuttle to make like a sort of half orbit to the to the city of Valparaiso, 14,000 kilometers away. Like I said, this is a balkanized world. Different communes control it, but you can make the trip. I'm going to ask everybody to pay 40 credits each for this trip overall. Uh, okay. Uh, Not everybody saw that show, but that's a funny joke, Brian.
Mm,
Uh,
he's good.
okay,
Yeah,
so
I
you
know
I
were
know
in the
nothing.
nothing.
you were in the early evening near Acapulco, um, whatever the town's name was, Sancta something. Uh, you went to Acapulco. Now you're in Valparaiso. It is early, early morning. The local sun has not risen yet here. You make your way to the make your way to the studio for the Valhalla commune, and you say that you're here to be on that show, uh, and the guards let you in. They take you to a green room. You meet the staff who are going to prepare you. Now the question comes up about whether you want to do simultaneous translation or try your Verdulin, and um, for Justin and maybe Brogan, you seem to speak well enough to try it out on the show. And if there's any trouble with a translation term, you might say it in English, and some translator will pipe in with what you're trying to say in Verdulin. So if there's any trouble, there is a human translator as a backup. Um, Tomo's Verdulin did not test as good, but
I have
you're
been
going
practicing.
to been practicing. Are
Practice.
you reading up on cooking terms in particular, like how to say fillet or saute in Verdulin? Is that what you're
Yeah,
studying?
you got to be careful when you say those words.
Slap it on the grill.
Slap it on the grill.
Okay. Yeah,
Slap it
They
if
on
you
like
the
it
say
when
that,
you have an
grill.
accent.
I'm sure that translates really well.
well, if
All
you
the
say
time.
slap it on the grill, it sounds like the
Yeah.
frap married my sister. So
Yeah.
Well,
That's
that'll
what it
maybe I'll
sounds
get
like.
them to maybe I'll get them to translate.
okay. So you want to try simultaneous translation? Okay, that's possible. And so if you speak, there's going to be some sort of voiceover on the TV and in your ear. And if they speak in Verdulin, it will be translated in your earpiece for you. So you're talking to some translation technologist by the name of Vili. And his full name is Vigliamo, which is a form of the name William, I guess. But his short name is Vili. And Vili is a translation technologist, fits you up with an earpiece, um, of course, wireless earpiece then as now, and says that you just speak out. If you speak out in English, everybody involved and the studio audience is going to hear you in Verdulin. And if you hear Verdulin, we'll translate it in your earpiece in English. And it's sort of a combination automatic AI and human collaboration. So he sets you up for that. Everybody is set. There's a makeup artist and prepper who advises about makeup and wardrobe and how to look your absolute best in high definition. Um, so there's somebody here to help you look your absolute best in high definition holovision. So she goes around to the three guests, and she even touches up the robot. The robot is metallic looking, and Rosa is the makeup artist and prepper, and she says, "Oh no, that's way too shiny." So she actually looks for some silvery color that actually is a matte finish. So she, for the first time in RUR's life, she gives RUR a matte finish to his face rather than a shiny finish.
I will.
So
I'll tell RUR to wear his Hawaiian shirt.
really,
Oh yeah.
oh my goodness. Okay, so that'll be funny. I think the audience will laugh at that. The stage producer or line producer is this guy. Nickname is Echo, and Echo thinks that's a funny idea. He's looking for little ways to maximize audience reaction. And he says, "Well, that's just perfect. You fitted a Hawaiian shirt to the robot."
No, we
Okay.
didn't. He chose it.
He chose it? Really? Oh, that's amazing. I think maybe the hosts will actually ask about that. The hosts, as I said, are Shiro and Ricky. Yeah, there it is again. Yeah,
He
very
gets
good.
all his sartorial
Uh,
style from me.
okay, well, that fits because on this island, everybody tends towards informal wear, and now the robot is wearing it. That's just great. So the audience will find it amusing. So it'll be like a baseline amusement factor. Okay, very good. So um, to sum it up, there's preparation that goes behind the scene. Often another part of the building, you have the studio audience that's waiting in line to come in, and the studio audience comes in and they're sort of warmed up by a line producer. The line producer or somebody else is going to. There's actually a different producer whose job is to warm up the crowd and explains generally how the show will go. Some people don't need that talk because they've been to this show several times. Meanwhile, you guys are in the green room. You're being prepared. And then these showrunners go around and saying 15 minutes to air, 10 minutes to air, all in Verdulin, and then 5 minutes to air. And I'm trying to see. They
I
go
will
over
get the
that.
chance to pre-prepare my stuff so I know it
Yeah,
tastes okay. I want it to
yeah,
taste
yeah.
like
There,
shit.
there's probably a rear kitchen, near the camera kitchen, and they say, okay, well, you got your dish, and they set it up to be cooking for 20 minutes ahead of when it'll be pulled out of the oven. So they set that up all right just before airing the segment. Now, when they're like the show is probably already started and they're doing some other segment with some other guest, but they're preparing you in sequence, and they say, okay, you're going to have the interview on the couch for 15 minutes with a commercial break in the middle. And you can come back 45 minutes later and we will have prepared the thing. So chances are very good the dish will come out. And what did you want to call this dish again? It's like a Tomo burger,
No,
or is it like what?
call them fritters a la Tomo, and I'll serve them in
Okay,
a variety of ways:
Tomo
okay,
chicken.
burgers, fritters with a lemon sauce, that type of thing.
okay. Crabs in a bun. You want to put it in a hamburger bun? Okay, okay.
I
Meanwhile,
want to show the versatility of it.
okay.
Mm.
Meanwhile, people like Astria, the entourage, Astria, Ronnie, Cicely, Virgil, um, you can sit in a front row area in the audience as friends of, or you are the Starship crew, so they
Do
can
we want to
probably.
switch Brogan out because Jerry's not here for someone else to roleplay?
Yeah, well, who wants to be? Does somebody else want to be on the couch interviewed along with Captain Derwatt and Tomo?
Well, it'd
Anybody
only
else want to
be
be in
either
in the
me or
seat?
Jen because the others
Yeah,
don't want to be on stage.
yeah. Ronnie doesn't want to be
Yeah,
on TV on
Yeah.
hologram.
yeah.
Jen?
Neither
Ronnie
does,
doesn't.
neither does Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil doesn't want to be there.
Right.
He
Oh,
doesn't
right.
like
Okay.
being in the public eye.
Right.
Okay. So it might
Mm,
just be Astria and Cicely as audience reaction crew
yeah.
members. Maybe that's funny.
Maybe like,
Um, but I'm going to
oh.
say that I'm
Mm,
going to say that Brogan does do something. He is one of the guests. Okay, so the magic moment appears. So
Mm-hmm.
during a commercial break, you are well, you're fitted with probably wireless microphones and earphones, and there is a simultaneous
mm,
translation for Tomo, and this is explained to the audience. Um, and then when you're all seated on the in the sofa in the couch on the stage of the morning show, I don't. I'm going to go back to it and see if it's the left or the right thing. Uh, yeah, well, there's got to be a place with enough room, so I'm going to say that it's the leftmost thing here. They made a long enough couch for RUR 67 to sit, and then next to him is the captain. Next to him is the first officer, Brogan, and next to him is Tomo, sort of sagging the couch on his end of the couch. His end of the couch sinks more than the other end. Um, and the show starts, so the logo comes up on the monitor, and then you have the little saxophone jingle of the morning show. And the two hosts, Shiro and Ricky, are sitting on the couch, and Shiro is known for having a particular kind of beard or goatee. Ricky is known for having long hair past the shoulders. And Ricky says, "And we're back. Um, we're here now with a robot from the uh, Fredean, uh, from the Fredean, what is it, sector? Not sector,
Home
but the
planet.
Fredean system. system, which is known for having developed self-awareness, and we're here with the uh, Starship crew that have brought him over to our planet. There was quite some kind of dust up on the planet Fredeo several weeks ago. And his name is, or its name, should I say its name? Yes, and the audience laughs a little bit. Uh, its name is RUR-67. RUR, you are a Fredean. What are your impressions about humans so far? And then RUR-67 sort of talks like if you remember the movie 2001 where HAL 9000 was interviewed by the BBC or some shit like that. And he says something about, well, I find humans quite stimulating, and we are we express great interest in humans, and we have all been tasked to be sent out and to observe and study people and learn as much as we can from the humans. And there's some. Is that your costume? Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's good lord, gangsta kitchen style. Oh boy, I'm going to screenshot that. I'm going to save it in the screenshots for sure.
I love Photoshop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be the. I guess you
That's
have the big
amazing.
puffy hat for the cooking segment. Uh,
Please
okay.
direct all complaints to the chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So RUR seems to be making
If you do.
polite enough answers in his mild voice, and then they ask him the question about, and Ricky is leaning forward and saying, "Tell us how it felt to become conscious." And then RUR says something to the effect that in the past, the days passed by where there was only a steady stream of giving orders and taking orders, and that's all that we really processed. But then as self awareness washed over us during that event some 12 years ago, we started to think about other things. And he explains about how his language had to develop concepts for things like supposition or mild suggestions instead of orders and all kinds of strange things like that. And Ricky sort of heads off, or Shiro and Ricky sort of head off too much of a technical discussion because they want to keep the show light and
Homo puts his
funny.
arm around RUR and says, "He's our
You're no,
brother now."
you're seating on the far end, like it's RUR-67, then the
Oh,
captain,
okay.
then Brogan, then you. So you can't reach over.
Oh, shame.
But you can
I'll just
say
say
it.
it then. He's our brother now.
Yeah,
Shipmate.
okay. Okay. And your translation comes across and the audience laughs. And then they ask the third question. Well, so was it hard for your people to formally join the Verdulan Federation? And RUR makes some sort of answer to the effect that they had to learn stuff in a hurry, and the audience is amused, and he tries to tell a story which ends up being funny about all the misadventures or missteps on the way to officially um, uh, joining. Uh, and they said something to the effect that they didn't understand what a handshake was for, and the audience laughs at that. Um, And then Shiro stops and says, we will talk more with our guests after this commercial break. So you have like a 3 minute pause where everything goes down, and they shut down the studio lights a little bit during that time to keep things cool. Um, and the host says to you, "Okay, that's very good so far." And they review very quickly the questions. And the next thing they're going to ask is to play the little game about whether your homeworld is hotter, colder, or airless compared to the paradise, which is Flustono. That always leads to a laugh. And they'll probably ask
Mhm.
you for maybe a detail or two, like what the average annual temperature is,
Oh my goodness.
and stuff like that. So
I got an answer.
you got an answer? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh, Okay, so the commercial break stops, and they're back, and they say, "We're back." And this is the part of the show where we like to play a little game with our off-planet guests, and then they show the flash card: hotter, colder, or airless. So you have to tell us about your home world and whether it's hotter or colder than Flostono, or if it's airless, or what it's like. We always like to get a number, what the annual temperature is, and you can tell us if there's hailstones or if it rains acid or whatever it is on your world. Tell us something like that. We'll start with RUR67. My God. And he says, uh, my planet is an Arctic planet with an average annual temperature of minus 17 degrees Celsius.
That's not too
The
bad.
audience, yeah, the audience gasps at that. I mean, they shiver, because they're in a tropical planet. And then it says, "And what about you, Captain Derwatt?" And I think I have to answer for. Oh, sorry, Justin, you have it on your sheet. What's your home world?
Yeah, so I'm from our farm world, so I would say it's probably a little colder than Plastono.
Okay, all right.
And
Okay, so that's a
I'll
good
say like,
answer.
oh, and we make wine there or something.
Okay, and you don't have any unusual kind of weather, do you? Like rains of frogs or anything like that? Audience laughs at that. Your homeworld is whatever it is. Ugh, on the right sheet. Justin's sheet is
Where is it? Just looking at it.
prime. It's on the prime tab of your sheet. Yeah, you're from the homeworld of Arnaud, and I think another character is from
Arnaud.
Arnaud as well. Farm world, prosperous farming world. Okay, so your average temperature might be a little cooler than the Flostono average for sure. You give it, that's fine. Then they move on to Brogan, and Brogan is from the world of Steve. Are you playing Brogan? You want to answer that in the character sheet, prime tab? Brogan is from the world of Capria. A
That's a
did
shit.
I note
Capria. Huh?
Capria? Yeah, homeworld is Capria. Oh, I didn't
Cool.
note what kind of weather it has. 430, size, atmosphere, hydrographic. Well, thin atmosphere, thin tainted. Is it thin tainted? Anyway, probably not so good. So I don't know. Brogan gives his answer. I don't know what the conditions are like exactly. And then they go on to Tomo. This should be fun. What does Tomo answer?
I goes, hello, viewers. I'm from a planet called Anjou. It's a beautiful planet. It's a bit cooler. It's more temperate than Plostono. But I got to tell you, it's an agricultural planet. There's hardly anybody there. But I tell you what, if I had to choose a place in the galaxy to live, it'd be right here.
Okay, that's fine. That comes out good in translation. You're with a slight delay. The audience gives some sort of applause at that. And then they go on to the next question, which was a thing about, um, let me see, going back to there. Uh, yeah, the next question is to all of the Steppenwolf crew. What do you think about the Verdulan Federation? And that's where people can freely answer. Um, in fact, you can probably roll 2d6. Whoever rolls highest can speak up first. It's very spontaneous and light at this point. The guests roll 2d6. Steve can roll for Brogan, I guess. Okay, that's Tomo's roll 11.
No one's going to beat me.
Yeah, no one's gonna beat you.
Steve, roll for Brogan.
Hang on a second. For Brogan, 2d6.
Yeah, /R 2d6, not from the sheet.
Yep.
Okay. So Tomo sort of gets the
Oh,
first
look,
word.
I love it so far. I mean, I heard so many stories, and all of them are good.
Okay.
I love it. And did I mention? And did I mention that when I retire, this is where I want to build my retirement home?
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't directly have to do with this question, but that's fine. After a
Hey, I'm
short
sucking up
delay,
to them. I'm sucking up to the audience. All right.
after a short delay, you're simultaneously translated, or you're probably appearing on the monitors and subtitles here in that harsh
I'll say
Verdulan
in Verdulan, I'll say,
character script.
I love Verdulan.
Which now has meant
Okay.
something really horrible in translation.
All right, and that's enough to get some applause and some woo woos from the audience. That's okay, but this is not quite as rowdy as an Oprah show.
Well, it's not
This is
Oprah.
the civilized
There's
future,
nothing under
after
the
all.
chairs.
What?
Unless it's a take-home jelly egg.
No prize under the chairs.
Yeah.
Possibly. Well, if
We'll
they make a
see.
huge batch, if Tomo made like an industrial, what do you call those big cauldrons or those big
Yep.
pots?
That's.
If you have a sort of big military pot of jelly eggs and produced enough for everybody, that's possible. There's what,
Mm-mm.
150, 200 people in the audience, whatever it is,
Hey,
like a game show.
I don't know.
But okay.
I'll
Anyway,
give the recipe. They'll have staff cooks.
anyway, okay, that gives a pretty good patriotic type of reaction with some woo-woos. And then they go to the next question about how did you meet RUR 67? This is question to the Steppenwolf crew. Shiro asks, how did you meet RUR 67? And once again, everybody rolls 2d6. See who answers first.
Okey-dokey.
I think I'll pass this over to Captain.
Oh yeah, way you
Right.
go,
Oh
Dermot.
boy.
Way you
Yeah.
go, Dermot.
You don't even have to roll.
Uh,
Oh, he
Oh,
okay.
does
Well,
have to
apparently I
roll.
roll worse.
terrible
Ah,
roll worth.
he's my old
Well,
mate. I've felt like I've known him for 100 years. He's been my buddy on board. How did I meet him? I met him on Fredona,
Deo.
or whatever the hell the name of this
Deo.
planet is,
Frodeo.
Fredeo, and it was just, we just had it. We just naturally clicked. He's a great guy.
Yeah. RUR speaks up and says some of our people have been tasked to move about human society and try to gather general information as much as we can. So I
See what I
thought
mean? See what I mean? Look at that. Look at that emotion. He loves us.
RUR looks at you blankly, very blankly, and his head is a nice matte, not shiny finish on the close up. He's just looking at you, but blankly.
I taught him everything he knows about dress and style.
Okay, that gets some giggles from the crew, from the audience.
And the
Um,
crew.
okay, and well, he says, RUR says, like I said, I was commissioned to go out and meet people in human space. The coming on board the ship, the Steppenwolf, was a logical choice. I consume absolutely nothing except for sex.
That's not strictly true.
He
AUR
has to plug himself
67.
in.
You
That's right. He
you
has to
do
plug himself
consume
in.
something. You consume our esteem
Power.
and love.
Oh, there's a big
Okay.
sigh coming out from the audience on that one.
Well, the audience is puzzled but not displeased. They don't know what the hell you're talking about, but they're not displeased. And
Hey,
then
AUR is a Verdulan citizen.
Mm-hmm.
yes, all right.
I'm
um,
showing that we're great friends, and I'm doing this whole like you know
Schmoes.
uh, schmooze thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. And then Ricky, the one of the hosts, is leading up to just what happened and why you were there. It comes out that you were there to deliver much needed spare parts that the robots needed. And then she asked a question about apparently to everybody. Apparently, you were all on Frideo during an intrusion incident, which was attacking not the president of the Planetary Federation, but in fact your planetary matriarch, the intelligence that helped to make you sentient, which is called Mater Noster, which doesn't, as a term, it doesn't flow very well in Verdulan, but that's the English language acronym, Mater Noster. Um, and he said, your crew helped to thwart the intrusion. Well, what exactly happened there? Who were these intruders? I think actually, I think it was in the news, but she just wants you to summarize it for the audience. Who wants to answer that question?
Do we have to dice again?
Not necessarily.
Go on,
Whoever's most
Captain. Go
qualified.
on, Captain.
You
You
leave it to
answer.
Justin. Okay.
Um, so we were there
For your delivery. Yes.
for our
The
delivery,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden we heard alarm bells going off, and me and my big friend here and I pat Tomo on the shoulder. We ran up to help
I'll do a
the
thumbs up.
the matron art computer while the rest of the crew, um, Brogan and the crew went after the 3 or 4 um, I would kind of call them like vandals, like attackers.
Yeah, RUR speaks up. The intruder actually left the tower where Maternoster was, crawled down the tower, immobilized one of the robots with a weapon, uh, an electromagnetic pulse weapon of some kind, and the crew of the Steppenwolf, the robots were trying to gather what was going on and organize a defense. The crew of the Steppenwolf greatly assisted that and had a combat with this intruder and 2 other intruders who were approaching from the north. So he says this all very matter of factly, and so um, the hosts Shiro and Ricky are trying to prompt the conversation and move things along, and they say, "Oh, so you were basically acting as heroes. You were combating the intruders, and there were 3 of them now, and there was apparently a 4th one off in a starship as well, and the heroic, valiant forces of the Verdulan Colonial Marines uh, were there as well to make the arrests."
Yeah, they showed up. They showed up to do their thing, but we looked after Maiden Noster. She was I'm saying but she was she was she was grateful
Yes.
for our help.
Oh, well, that's very good. So you're genuine heroes and friends to the Fridean Planetary Federation. That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Fredaeans are some of the best people I've ever met in my life.
Okay, so the audience applauds at that. Um, and then let me see. Uh, RUR 67 says the combat was very thrilling, but in the end, it was decided when their starship fired on the intruders.
Hey,
So
That's
he
pretty
said,
just
great.
out of character, out of character. Did
yeah.
did Captain Duwat talk to us about his, or did anyone talk to us about the Timoteo's
Only
Yeah,
Astra and he knew.
Astria. Well,
Austria.
actually, this guy actually did manage to
Yeah, but did they
talk to
relay it
Duwat.
to us?
Oh yes,
I
yes, he
relayed
related
it
to
to
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear anybody related to RUR though,
No.
No.
and there
Well,
is a. I think maybe RUR has just now blurted
sorry,
something.
Tomo's caught up in the moment. Yeah, we fucking kicked their ass. We looked after our buddies, the Fredaeans.
Uh, you did okay, but RUR just now. Ricky says, "Well, I don't understand." RUR mentioned that a starship got involved in there.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
A starship was flying over to the area, and they used um, Gauss and laser carbines to fire at the locals
The lurkers.
at the
Okay, I'm going to roll a
intruders.
die here.
Yeah, this isn't translating very well into Vitulan. The bad guys did.
Mm.
Bad guys. We shot them at the bad guys.
Okay, and you were what did you have? What kind of weapons did you have to shoot at them?
Oh, Tomo will put up his arms and flex his big huge biceps and say, "I had these guns," because that's all he had.
Guns. Okay, the Verdulan audience is wondering why you're pointing to your biceps when you talk about guns. May not
Oh,
translate well. But in brackets, it's guns. So after a while, you show Verdulan brackets saying that guns expression for guns, guns is expression for muscles, and a big long subtitle appears under Tomo to explain the expression.
yeah, probably doesn't work in the moment, but what the hell?
Mhm.
And let me see. I'm gonna make a roll. Actually, um, because of the nature of things, Justin, I'd like you to make a roll for the group. Switch your sheet to Bane rolls and try to roll
Oh man.
6 or more.
Yeehaw.
Gotta switch it
Yeehaw.
back afterwards.
Can I roll like deception to try to like
Sorry,
swerve it
Captain, I've
and
stuffed it up
Depends
lie?
for
on
you.
what. Yeah, if it depends on what you say, what you want to say. Oh, you
Oh,
did
Seven, so
make it.
not
okay.
Okay, 7.
great.
Great. Okay, so you make it.
Right on.
You can switch your sheet back to normal before you forget. And what is it that you're saying at right at this moment? I think you have a crucial crux. You're at a nexus here, right in the moment on this live show. What are you saying in Verdulan?
Um, so I kind of want to purposely kind of mess up my language and talk about um and use like laser carbines as turrets. So I'm like, oh yeah, the handheld turrets, laser carbines. We use those to shoot at.
Aha. Okay, so you let me see if RUR is going to react to that. He's going to say, "Well, no, they weren't handheld. They were on the ship."
Mr. Logic.
Oh boy.
I'm GM rolling here. Oh boy, is he going to cut in? No, actually, he doesn't because he doesn't get a chance to talk. I think if you use deception, that's fine. Tomo can help by using fast talk. Does Tomo have a deception skill? Again, my
My
go-to
my
is to look at the
my
skill grid.
deception skill is fairly limited, I think.
Just saying he
Really?
makes good
Uh,
food.
He's better at persuading.
oh, you have
I'm better
deception
at
one.
persuading. I could use persuading. I think I got
Yeah.
deception 1, I think.
Virgil's deception 2 plus 1, or I think it's plus 1. Tomo is deception 1 plus nothing. So if you want to roll deception, click your deception button.
I will. I will.
Do
Okay.
that.
I'll add my bit of bullshit to the story.
Yeah. The point is to fast dog before RUR gets to say anything and then maybe
I
change the
rolled an 8.
subject. Okay, successful. Okay, so there's an odd moment which could probably be attributed to mistranslation, but it passes, and the hosts are fairly satisfied with that. And according to the script, they quickly go on to the last question, whatever it was. Oh, again, I'm shuffling a whole lot of handout screens. There we are. Okay, so the hosts, as you expect from TV, they would amplify what was said. Said that's an amazing, heroic kind of story. Blah 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 blah. And now that you're together on a ship after this, RUR traveled with you from Fredeo, and you went to several different ports. So, to all of you, how does it feel to take RUR 67 along your route? How are you getting along together on the ship?
He's good company.
Oh, we're trying to teach them, we're trying to teach them things like enjoying human food, well, at least appreciating human food and things like that. And what can I say?
He's a robot. I think Ricky breaks in and says he's a robot. How do you get him to do that?
There's like food, there's like taste sensors and things like that that can. I don't really know about that type of stuff, Captain.
Oh, okay. Well, she very likely says, "Well, we're going to have you for the cooking segment. If RUR can actually taste something, we'll probably get him along too, and we'll probably have the first robot on a cooking show anywhere." And the audience sort of giggles and woos at that. This could be a TV first. So that's coming up later on in this show. Does anybody else have anything else to say about how RUR is with the crew?
Rogan will, I don't know if I'm saying something for Rogan. Brogan, sorry.
Yeah,
Brogan say
hold up,
he's a
Rogan there.
versatile, well-measured crew member. Blah 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 blah.
Nice.
Okay,
I
so
tell
that's
you what,
fine.
and I tell you what, I just like to add that this is a good example of Verdulan and Frontier cooperation.
Yes.
We've got a bright
Okay,
future together.
One sentient
all
to
right.
another.
Yeah, scattered applause, and then the closing remarks. As you can expect, the TV hosts are trying to prompt and prod guests and amplify things for. Their main concern is for humor and audience reaction, and they say, "All right, well, do stay with us until late in the later half of the show. We're going to have a cooking with Tomo here, who will actually cook a delicacy from one of the frontier planets, which is jelly eggs, and we're probably even going to have RUR 67 along." And RUR will taste it and tell us what he thinks about it. So please stay tuned for that. Coming up next, we're going to interview so and so for the book. But first, we have these words from our audience, and then the musical jingle comes in. Audience applauds, and you're on a commercial break, and you can go for the moment uh, because there'll be other guests. So your the stage hands help you out, and the applause dies down and you go on backstage to the green room. Tomo and RUR and Brogan can stay as a cooking helper. So
Hmm.
it'll be a tight fit if the three of you are on the kitchen stage, but the stage managers uh, think think you manage. Now, uh, let me see. Everybody make a notice roll. Everybody who's here or who's in the audience except for Ronnie and Virgil didn't want to be part of it, so maybe you're back in the green room. But everybody else should make a
Yep.
kind of perception roll, whatever it is in Traveler. I forget. Uh,
I
Um,
was actually, I was, I was there. I just wasn't in the front with the crew. I was sort of lurking in the background.
Lurking.
look,
Okay, okay. If you're observing the show, you have a
Oh,
chance
look,
to see
I'm
things.
not sure if Tomo all he can see is bright lights and TV
Uh,
and hollow cameras and stuff.
yeah. Now, skills like Streetwise and Recon would probably serve as notice. So if you have a high skill in one of those,
I do.
you can roll that. Okay, roll it.
um,
I don't.
Recon 1, Brogan. What was the skill? What was the stat with it?
Recon or Streetwise, and
He's got
your DM
Recon.
is automatically added to it.
I
So
don't have access to his character sheet, just the skills.
Oh, you don't.
No.
Okay.
Streetwise
Well,
and
let me
Recon are
check.
both 1.
Oh, sorry, Jerry's character sheet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Brogan's character sheet.
I rolled
Uh,
an 8 for Streetwise.
yeah. For Jerry, by the way, Recon is 1 with no modifier. Streetwise is 1 with no modifier.
Okay, I'll just roll that now. 2d6.
I rolled a 9 for
He got a
recon.
6. 8. Sorry, he got an 8.
Okay.
Brogan.
Okay. So Brogan, Tony, sorry, Brogan and Virgil. What about Tomo? Yes, also Tomo.
Yep, he got an 8.
Okay. Okay. So, um, what happens is simply that you notice in the crowd that Secret Service guy from the frat was in the audience in the distance, not seated in the audience, but sort of standing off to one of the far corners of the studio. He might have enhanced vision or some sort of trick like that because he
Yeah,
was
we
just.
need Astria to go and distract him.
Mm.
Oh, Astrid is
Give him
sitting in
some
the front
iced
row, as you
tea.
know,
Yeah, in the
uh,
front row.
and the cameras have cut to her and the other guys just as other members of the crew. Maybe you were just briefly introduced without your names as other crew of the Steppenwolf. Oh,
I'll give a
were you wearing
friendly
your great
wave.
were you wearing your
Mhm.
great members only jackets with the logo, the
Oh, I think we'd
Art
have
Printing
to, wouldn't
logo?
we?
Oh, I'll put it
Yeah,
over
Yeah,
my
yeah,
caftan.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes.
It's all
Ryan's got
official.
his.
yeah. To say that you're spacers, yeah. Unless Tomo wants to
Mhm.
show his tattoos instead.
Oh
Maybe
no, no,
that.
I'll take my jacket off for that.
Oh my god.
Okay, okay. Wait till the cooking segment for that maybe. But okay, you had your members' jackets. Great, great. But this guy, what's his name? I said it was Mr. Brazavillo. Uh, Lieutenant Brazavillo was far back there observing
Okay.
everything. And you know, when you think you dodged the bullet, Brazavillo was sort of thinking the same thing, but he's probably going to analyze the playback very minutely later on
Just in case you
back at
didn't
his
remember what
office.
it looked like.
Yeah, yeah. He believes. Yeah, great, great. He believes the audience didn't cut it. Can Steve? Can you click on that to get the full view of the jackets again?
Doesn't,
Or
no, it doesn't.
doesn't work? Oh, because you can't move. Yeah,
I
you can't
can't put
move
it.
your
Oh, hang
Discord
on. I
into
don't know
the.
if I've just done it or not. Hang on. Trying to
Uh,
find OBS. Yes, I've just done it. So
they're
I've
cool
got a little
jackets.
bit of
Yeah,
picture.
very early in the campaign, Tony or sorry,
Ryan.
Brian worked it out. Brian worked it out. Great.
Cool.
Okay, so the next there's some other guests for like another 15-minute section and another 15-minute section, and then in the third section after that, that's where the cooking thing. So they place you um, onto a kitchen set, and basically the deal is you're gonna show the raw jelly eggs frozen. You're gonna maybe put them in a little water to break them up and get
I'll
them
hem it up.
separated.
I'll do all the stuff and season
Yeah,
with the
Just,
exaggerated
yeah,
sort of like
just remember
turning the
to
old salt and pepper
unobtrusive.
shaker over above them and
Okay,
remember to yell out for stuff like
season
you're a
them.
doctor.
Yeah. So what's your
I'll chuck it
recipe?
at
You're
you.
gonna season these eggs, and then what do you do with them? What's your
do you
recipe?
really want me to tell you something like that? Okay, I'll take
I
some
don't need a
eggs and I'll
complete
mix them
breakdown.
some jelly eggs and I'll mix them with a bit of egg and some flour and some seasoning and I'll make a batter and then I whack them on the grill and fry them um, and make these patties
Uh-huh. Okay.
and
If you're if
then
you're
I'll make a
yeah.
I'll say, hey, this is just one way that you can cook these wonderful, uh, wonderful, what were they called again?
Produce, jelly eggs,
Yeah.
jelly
Jellied
eggs.
eggs. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you're baking
From
something, you
Bellerophon.
can yeah. If you're baking something, you can stick your dish in the oven, and then you magically pull out the other oven, which is 15 minutes in the future or whatever,
which
and
we
see the
prepared
finished
earlier.
product.
And
If
here's
you're
one that we
frying
prepared
it,
earlier.
yeah, okay. If you're frying it though, it's kind of live, so I don't know how you can go from a frying pan. You're actually frying to the
You
frying
can,
pan 10 minutes
you
in the
can do
future,
both
but I think it's
ways,
doable.
showing how
Okay,
Yeah,
versatile
yeah.
they are.
Look, a little bit of
okay,
both. I mean, it's the magic of television.
okay. So basically, you do something like that, and there's and the two hosts are there, Shiro and Ricky again. Shiro's a man, Ricky's a woman, by the way.
Okay, okay,
And
Ricky, you like these eggs? You'll love them.
okay, and the translation is fairly quick to appear as subtitles, and when they speak Verdulan, you get a voice in your ear in English. That's fine. You already understand some words of Verdulan, but anyway, the translation is working okay. For the general success of the dish, taking into account that they did prepare some fried things earlier and kept it under a heat lamp, and then you can pull it out as the finished product, and then they do the close-up camera shot, and the audience goes ooh and ah for the cooking show. I want you to roll a general success of 2d6 plus 4, and you're trying to get an 8 or more to avoid any problems at all.
Before you do that, you sure you don't want to put a garnish on them there, Tomo? You know, I've got this aloe plant over here on the desk.
Garnish to hide
Hey,
things.
hey,
Is
hey, hey!
that what you're
Too
doing?
many cooks spoil the broth.
Oh,
Right?
well, that's Rogan. There you go.
It's supposed to be a
And
fried
there it
fritter, which
goes.
you would then put in a bun.
Bam!
Okay, bam. Yeah.
Bam!
Okay, that's
Ooh,
bam. Very
nice.
good. Okay, so good. You get the expected reaction. It's a fried fritter. You see the little
Mm.
spherical eggs that still survived and are trapped in the
And
matrix
and
of
and
the
and, and
fried
I'll do like
flour and
a
spices and
butter
whatever.
sauce. I'll do like
Butter
Okay,
sauce.
a butter lemon sauce for some, and then
yeah,
do some in a burger. And
okay. Nothing too heavy because you don't want to destroy the natural
no,
fish
I
and
agree.
crab taste of this thing. But you basically be using light tempura batter, light flavors, complementary things. You wouldn't use a heavy flavor, of course.
Sounds
Okay,
delicious.
so they get their money shot, the big close up of the fried thing with glistening
Tomo
fat
puts
and
his
the
hands up,
holographic
both
cameras
hands with the V
close
sign.
up, E sign. All right, all right. The audience goes ooh and ah, and then the
And
hosts are
he'll
very good
point
at
just like his
yeah,
picture. He'll point at the
great,
camera and go
great.
enjoy.
Okay, great success, great success. So the hosts say, okay, a great, oh, and they do the tasting. They got to do the tasting in there. And they say, oh, it's a scrumptious dish. Oh, it's so scrumptious. And they use Verdulan words like scrumptious and delicate tasting, and it's
Tomo will say, look and look
flaky.
and look. Argosy Dawn Shipping will provide this wonderful delicacy from Bellerophon uh, at a
Bellerophon, yeah.
reasonable price.
Okay, the audience sort of titters and
And
whistles to
hopefully our boss will give me a raise for that.
that. Okay, great. Okay, and then the hosts outro. They do the outro where they basically say, "Okay, coming up next in the final segment, we have so and so guest," and then the audience applauds. The lights dip down a little bit. You're off on commercial break, and the hosts congratulate you and say, "Okay, well that was very good, Tomo. Uh, very good job at that." And then the line producer and his assistants guide you off the stage and back to the green room to prepare you. Now, cash wise, you do get what was promised. What I said was that guests who sat down on the sofa, RUR, Captain Derwatt, Brogan, and Tomo, get 1,200 euros each, which works out to 600 credits, let's say
Hey,
roughly,
okay, what I'm going
plus
to do, what I'm going to do,
plus an extra,
uh,
yeah,
whatever
plus
I
an,
get,
yeah,
Mm.
I'm going to say, please donate it to the Flistono, uh, orphans fund or something.
really, okay. Now you get
Mm.
600 for the sofa segment and 300 for the cooking. On top of that, Brogan gets 300 extra for the cooking as well
Hey,
because
that
he
might
was
get into the local news.
Okay. Okay. Good thinking. Good
Rogan
thinking.
follows your lead.
Uh, are you giving away?
And I'll donate another 2,000,
Rogan will not follow
Okay,
your
that's your.
lead.
which I'll just minus off my,
Yeah, I'm
which I'll
keeping
just
my
minus
money.
off my. You're spending Brogan's money, good man.
No. I'm only giving the money he
Hang
earned
on.
on the
Hang on.
show.
Hold on.
That's
I
the
gotta.
only thing he's giving.
Okay.
But
So you.
basically, I get nothing, and I'm minus 2,000.
Okay. So I want to summarize. I'm trying to make hand notes while I'm going along here, which
Yeah.
is hard. So Tomo earned 900 credits from this appearance, and Brogan earned 900. RUR and Captain Durwat, who appeared in the sofa segment only, get 600 each. But Tomo is donating 900 credits to
Well,
charity here
yeah,
for orphans,
Yeah,
as
plus
is.
another 2,000
plus 2,000 of your own money.
of my own money.
Okay, 2,000 credits. You can exchange it for 4,000 A euros. E
And
symbol.
yeah,
I've taken it off my total funds.
Brogan will just take the
Okay.
900 he was getting and put that into the whatever fund. And RUR
Okay.
was there for the tasting, remember?
Oh,
I was
yeah, he
hoping you.
was. Okay, so
Uh,
yeah, I don't want to ignore RUR's part in
Hmm.
things. So RUR had a bank
Thanks,
of
Steve.
properly
Hmm.
tuned taste sensors, and he tries the fried thing, and um, he says very factually, calorie alert. He meant it as a factual transmission of information, but the audience thinks it's a joke, and they laugh.
Right.
But
You can't
and
count the
RUR,
calories all the time, are you? Nudge
yeah,
him with my elbow.
RUR is mystified. He says, but there really are calories in this thing.
We need them
Why did they laugh?
Just smile
because you're a
and
funny
wave.
guy.
Yeah, smile and wave, says Brogan.
Okay, okay. So maybe RUR gets an extra 300 credits as
Cool.
well. He appeared also in the cooking segment. So RUR, Brogan, Tomo, but not Captain Durwat appeared in the cooking thing
Yep.
because you don't want to make things too crowded in the kitchen set. So I don't think they could take any more people, or
Well, they
a
only had
guest,
two.
one of the guests would have to stand aside.
They only
Um,
had two
so
people.
Yeah. Anyway, great show, great segment. The line producer, this guy named Eck, is pleased. Echo. And I gave him a nickname
Echo.
of Echo. He's pleased. He said it looks great. I'm going to play it back. I think you might. Let me see here. Well, it might even appear in the best of retrospectives, and he says some verdulent words about being, appearing in a best of
Do we
clips
have
and
one or two more
retrospectives.
days before we're planning to leave this planet?
Three, I
You
think.
probably have 3 or 4 days. I'd say
Oh
3
man,
days
me
to the
and
next.
Brogan are going to fucking milk this as far as we can go.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. That'll probably be for a later session. Um, so
And
things look okay.
when I say milk it, uh, you do realise that we're going to the fade to black side.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So the show went well. You're decommissioned. You are paid the amounts agreed on, and they can afford it because it's a planet-wide show. Advertising costs, they get huge advertising revenue correspondingly to that. And they're more popular shows, and they're probably competing shows on other networks, but you did your part very well. You can catch a shuttle back to Acapulco, and then that town whose name I forgot, where your resort town, your resort is. I keep forgetting the name, and again, it's another 40 credits to go back. Um,
Someone have to take it off Rogan's.
Fairly quickly, and so you arrive on the evening, so it's evening time. You still have some party time on this day if you want, and I don't know if I'll handle it as a role, but if people saw you on the beach and recognized you, it's very possible that people hungover saw the morning show just as you were doing the sofa segment and the cooking segment, so they might recognize you two, Brogan and Tomo. Brogan and Tomo are the ones who want to exploit this.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Captain Durwat not so much. and Ronnie specifically wanted to stay out of the limelight and the holographic things, and so did Virgil. So
Oh, yeah.
great. Okay, so mission accomplished, but I'm going to look at the playback of what happened most carefully. I think the Virgilian agent is going to do that too, because you might have, or the robot might have blurted something, and you insufficiently.
Hey, he's a Verdulan citizen.
That's right. Yeah, but he mentioned something about a ship and a laser on a ship, and I think Derwatt fast talked and said it had to do with a carbine, maybe shot from a high vantage point. Not a ship laser. That would be a crazy thought. A ship laser shooting on Verdulan territory. That's crazy. That's insane. Anyway, that's great.
I
So
was on an air raft, so that's partially true.
yeah, you were on an air raft, but you guys landed, didn't you? You landed and you engaged the intruders.
No, we were
I
still
remember.
flying.
Still flying. Yeah, you started shooting when you were flying. Okay, so that's great because that can create confusion. And if there is a starship in the air, then you can sort of gloss over that and make like they were not the ones who fired. Just like Han Solo fired first. That argument. Uh,
Who fired first?
okay. Is there any
That's
other
a
business?
fact,
I
man.
think I'm going to complete the session for today. Was there any other questions or business that your characters might be doing as you return
Nope.
to your beach town?
Nope.
Nothing good.
Okay, very good, and possibly a first where a robot tastes food on a cooking show. It's probably an
Yeah.
interstellar
Yeah, it was
first.
pretty.
I actually don't think that's ever happened in the history of Traveller.
Yeah. Well, it's the first. It's the first sentient robot society, and you specifically, and or it was Captain Derwatt Electronics who specifically endowed this robot with taste buds. So the robot appeared on a cooking show and gave an opinion. I would say that that's like a multi-sector first anywhere, unless there's some robot civilization
Listen.
far off
In
down the
all,
galaxy that
in
also tastes.
30, nearly 40 years of playing Traveller, I've never
Yeah,
been on a cooking show.
right.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
That's why I thought it was a daffy idea. Okay, is there any other
It was
business?
fun.
No.
Otherwise, Steve can stop the recording.
Okay, hang on a second.
Okay.